2, 1, and we're live.
Well, hello and welcome to Cover1 Live here on SanAngeloLive.com. Hey, this first hour presented by Little Caesars of San Angelo Pizza, and we are now taking a live look from Tuscola with the Gymnett Indians and the Wall Hawks. And right now, it appears that Gymnett very, very close to punching this one in, knocking on the door. It is 8-7 Wall, and it looks like that Gymnett is going to be on its way to taking the lead in this ball game. A very heated rivalry between these two teams. Man, what a way to start this Friday night, and the extra point is up, and it is indeed good. And yes, good evening, folks. Hello and welcome to the Cover1 studios here at SanAngeloLive.com. I'm Manny Diaz.
Christian Gabalden.
Hey, it's already off to a great start. We're seeing, a good game between two bitter rivals. It doesn't get much better than that. Obviously, the one who will win that game likely just to take control in the rest of that district there.
Yeah, it's looking to be a good one for sure. Already, what, 14-8?
14-8 in that one. Gymnett leading Wall in that one. Plus, another big game that we are watching tonight, the San Angelo Central Bobcats squaring off against the Abilene High Eagles. This is the start of Little Southwest Conference play. Christian, you've gone toe-to-toe with the Warbirds, but it's different this season because it's back in the district.
It is. It's huge, and to start off the district at that. First home game, tensions are high. I know Bobcats ready to play. Already up 29-12 at the half.
Taking the words right out of my mouth on that one. In that one, there. So the Bobcats in the early goings of that one, leading Abilene High. Another big game that we're watching around the Little Southwest Conference is Odessa Permian and Midland Lee.
What a game
right
that
now,
is.
as we speak, Permian leading the Lee Rebels 20-14 with a little less than 4 minutes to go in the first half. So we'll have some eyes on that one from Ratliff Stadium here in just a bit. Plus, hey, we can't forget about our six-man kids. We have boots on the ground in Sterling City and Water Valley. Some big games out there as well. So, man, it's a lot to digest so far.
A lot. Some big 6A games for sure.
Yeah, these are the ones that count. It's what I've always liked to call the season of smiles and cries because you're playing for keeps now.
And make or break right here.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. So we'll be efforting some highlights from San Angelo Stadium with your Bobcats and the Abilene High Eagles. Joe, we will, if we can look towards Midland Lee and Odessa Permian. Also, another piece of video that we're going to get to you in a bit is our Thursday, our future Cover1 stars of the Friday Night Lights. Hey,
got to give them some love too.
They got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
It's the best of the Thursday Night Lights. We'll get to that in just a bit. But first things first, Joe, if we can, let's bring up this Permian Midland League game, a huge game at Ratliff Stadium. Right now, the Rebels are driving. They are in Permian territory at about the Permian 25-yard line. So that is on the Mac computer over there, Joe. Cool 98 in that one. So we'll be efforting that in just a moment. A very, very big ball game. Permian. Man, these guys, it's like, they haven't forgotten that. Hey, they don't want people in West Texas or just for that matter in the state of Texas. Hey, we're here. Midland Lee, they might be all right, but we're still here.
Yeah, they definitely don't want anyone looking over them. Giving the Rebels a ball game right now.
Yeah, this is a huge ball game. The winner of this, arguably will take the driver's seat in the district. Of course, the Bobcats, they still have to get the Bobcats.
Hey, it's all 0-0 right now.
Everyone still has to get the Bobcats in that one. So we'll see Central and Midland Lee, as well as Central and Odessa Permian square off down the stretch down the stretch of the season. But right now, another game that the game that we kind of welcomed you in with our coverage, Wall and Gymnett. Right now, Wall is driving. They are on their own side of the field. It is 14-8. Indians leading the Hawks. It's a big ball game. Arguably, this one is playing for keeps in the sense that whoever wins this, pretty much like Lee and Permian, will take the driver's seat in the district. So looks like Joe is drawing this one up via the live stream. This live stream and highlight presented by Eggemeyer's General Store.
Hawks.
The best little general store in West Texas. And we see the Hawks, yeah, they're, what's interesting about them, Christian, is they will just grind you down.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, it's like a sword just like being inserted in you as slowly as possible.
Gosh.
And you feel everything.
Just a boxing match every play. Those kids, man.
That is the perfect way to put that. Yes, a boxing
play.
match every play. That's an insane way to do it. We see here the Hawks, man, it's a little pitch out. Woo! And they are nearing midfield. That appears to be Kai Herbert there on the carry there. So, wow. We will check back in with that one. Joe is efforting. I tell you what, Joe Hyde deserves a ton of credit for producing this show, directing the show, pushing on the ones and twos of this show. He's getting us ready to take a live look at Odessa Permian and Midland Lee here in just a moment. But Christian, from your time with squaring off against the Abilene High Eagles, because you guys played each other a whole lot from growing up. What's that rivalry like between you?
It's huge because they'd always whoop on us in middle school. Mm-hmm. Obviously Coach Crane and Brent Davis, they'd implement the high school plays to us, but we were young, we didn't throw the ball that well, so they'd beat us 60-0. Those little middle school teams, Madison and Clack. But when high school came, they're always great. Rivalry, great, always a great game. I remember 2018. Miles Hauser kicked the game-winning field goal last seconds.
That was an insane finish.
Absolutely, gosh.
So many things happened in that game.
Yes.
We saw Malachi Brown take that team and just drive the length of the field and set up Miles Hauser.
They were on the knocking on our goal line, about to score, and then Daylon Green gets a fumble, drive it 98 yards, and Miles just, like a 37-yard field goal or something. Insane, man.
What would appear to be a chip shot on most days.
Yeah.
That was the kick.
Yeah. It was just everybody biting their nails. That was just in Abilene too. So Shotwell, not easy place.
Anytime you can go into Shotwell Stadium and get a dub,
no matter, take it how you get it.
Yeah. Hey, we're sitting here at Odessa Permian game. They just Odessa just accepted the kickoff, ran to the 38.
All right, so there's Joe Hyde giving us the play-by-play.
Nice.
Yeah,
the
band guy.
The band guy. Looks like this one is coming back. Penalty called on the Panthers. So hold the phone. Laundry on the field in that one. So Permian and Lee going toe-to-toe. So looking forward to that one when we get down the stretch with involving the Central Bobcats. Right now, in the boxing match, that is the Hawks and the Gymnet Indians. This is what this is continuing to be. The Hawks just steadily.
Just like those 20-play drives, and those kids got some endurance to play both sides and just smack each other every play.
And you got to show some love to the Central quarterback QB, or not Central QB1, but the Wall QB1, Derek Morrison. Because this guy plays both ways, and most times, that's got to be
exhausting. That's what you call a man's man right there. Gosh.
Yeah, that dude just insane the way he puts that up there. So, of course, he and his team are driving right now. Looks like they just got a first down. So Wall is looking to get on the scoreboard. This is I believe this is now in the later moments of the first quarter, perhaps the second quarter. Wall is driving on the Jim Ned 27-yard line. So we'll kind of keep you updated in that one. Joe, if you want to bring us back to that game, this one is now.
That's the kids in orange.
We'll get to them in just a bit.
A little sneak peek.
But I tell you, the Wall Hawks, this was a Matt Trammell pick that was
No bueno. He
yeah,
said no bueno.
he wasn't ready. He was kind of like stocked down last week, just because of they couldn't win one of those big ball games. In fact, they dropped 2 of the big ball games to Midland Christian and San Antonio Cornerstone Christian, 2 very respectable teams.
Absolutely.
In the private school realm there.
So this will be a good
We
showing
got
to
Wall
see.
now.
Yeah, so yes, very much. You're exactly right, Christian. This will be a good test for them because down the stretch, you're going to see against teams like Breckenridge, Early, Clyde, and nothing against those teams.
Yeah, I know, but they'll definitely sweep through them from what we think.
Yeah.
And maybe keep their head too high going into the playoffs and matching up against Brock or one of those type of schools.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Hawks kind of keeping things interesting in this drive. They still have the football. They started deep in their own territory. And man, this is a team. This is a Houston guy offense that it'll file you down to nothing. The way they play football there in the East and Tom Green County. So right now, Jim Ned leading 14-8 in that ball game. A big game for the Hawks, and would put them at 2-0 in district play, following last week's win against San Angelo TLCA, 72-0. I mean, not much of a matchup. And looks like, wow, look at this play right there.
Is that a catch?
So it looks
No, I think it was incomplete.
incomplete. Okay, so Derek Morrison.
A little overthrown on that.
Yeah. Joe, if you want to put us back on screen here, back in programming, Joe's giving you a behind-the-scenes peek into that.
Behind-the-scenes look.
Yeah. Behind-the-scenes look in that one. Over at Ratliff Stadium, Panthers leading the Lee Rebels 20-17. Looks like this is just winding down in that one there. So they're going to go into the half with Mojo leading the Rebels 20-17. A very high-scoring, high-momentum kind of ball game.
Absolutely.
Kind of the same thing that we're seeing with Central. That scored
all
the
around,
half.
yeah. 29-12. So
29-12.
a lot of scoring in that.
And we saw some interesting guys. We saw, a lot of different guys get in the end zone from.
We did.
Tell us a little about what we saw.
So, we started off with a touchdown to Weston Hill, his first of the year, I believe, and he was just wide open, easy, beautiful pass by Malachi Brown. Defense gets a stop, I believe. Malachi comes down, throws it to his brother, Tyler, for another touchdown. I think Abilene scored on that one. Come back, and Mal, I believe, handed it off to Isaiah Dell for like a 10-yard touchdown. Shout out Isaiah. Mm-hmm. And then towards the end, 30 seconds left, Coach Crane with that 2-minute offense, Mal, perfect ball pass to Seth Levesque. Makes a nice snag, and it's just off to the races. Kid, has the burners. So, that put him up 29-12. Defense stopped them with the 30 seconds left. So
it's good to see Seth Levesque. First and foremost, it's great to see Tyler Hill continuing to be
Absolutely.
such a just a product of this offense. But then it's nice to see these other guys get involved.
Absolutely.
Certainly Seth, and certainly Tyler's brother getting
Weston.
involved there. Weston to Seth. There's so many different weapons.
you're seeing every receiver catch the ball. I've seen Caden Box. Jalen's had a few catches. They're targeting everybody. It's like hard for Abilene to pick on one guy, if you say, because I'm sure coming in they saw Tyler Hill last week. Mm-hmm. You're expecting the ball to be thrown to him, but you got Weston coming out, Seth, making big plays. So it's good to see. It's great to see.
Definitely. All right. So. The Bobcats leading Abilene High in the district opener of this one, 29-12. We are efforting highlights from that game. Also, hey, man, speaking of games at San Angelo Stadium, the Lakeview Chiefs, man, were.
Give me a rundown on that, man.
Man, yeah, they were in a ball game last night through most of the first half. Mm-hmm. It was I wouldn't say it was it was mainly turnovers and just shooting themselves in the foot. Looking at Albert Rodriguez, the guy has the tools. He has good wideouts. It's just, doing things they're
Yeah.
not supposed to be doing.
I hear you. Yeah, it'll definitely get like that. Definitely just a little rough patch in the road. I saw Tristan. He got injured, or
Yes, it was a bad. Yeah, he was on the trainer's table by the end of the night. Did not look good. The status is still kind of up in the air with Tristan. So,
prayers for you, Tristan. Hope you get better, man. Get well soon.
The kids from the north side need you, Tristan, and most definitely, thoughts and prayers for those who were injured last night in that game, and hopefully the Chiefs, they can bounce back. I mean, this is,
For sure.
and we talk about it week after week, with this team having already a playoff spot clinched, but it's about seeding.
Exactly. So, they have Andrews, who's probably going to be number one, I believe. So it was, a tough loss to take last night, but, hopefully they can get up to that third spot and, do good in the playoffs, hopefully.
Yeah, so it's Fort Stockton, Andrews, Big Spring, and Lakeview at the moment. So it's, Andrews obviously the favorite in this one. Fort Stockton can, I think it'll be a fist fight for that second place spot. I think it's going to come down to if Lakeview can take care of business against, Big Spring, it'll come down to points.
Yeah.
Perhaps if they can, maybe if there's some magic in there against
Who
that
knows?
Andrews Mustang.
That mullet magic.
The mullet magic.
You never know.
Yeah, so we will have some highlights. We'll also hear from Coach Hector Guevara in this from that ball game coming up here after a while. So, hey, the Wallhawks, they are now on defense, it appears. So that drive somewhat stalled. Jim Ned now has the rock. They are in Wall territory, just a little past midfield. Right now it is still Jim Ned 14, Wall 8. This one, I mean, it's Coach Houston guy always anticipates, as you said, Christian, I think it's the best way to put it, just a fist fight.
Exactly.
Last year it came down to a big play, and Wall eventually won it in the final moments. So here, the way it looks right now, could come
Either
down.
way.
Yeah. By the way, folks, for all your scores tonight and post-game write-ups, post-game analysis, post-game highlights, or heck, if you just want to look at your scores right now, what's going on around the Concho Valley and the best games in Texas, cruise on over to www.sanangelolive.com. We are efforting. We have a team that is just working hard for you. Yanis Green, Sonia Ramirez Munoz, and Janessa Nunez just working hard, getting you the scores tonight. So cruise on over to the SanAngeloLive.com and get your Texas high school football fix. So again, we are efforting highlights from San Angelo Stadium with the Central Bobcats and the Abilene High Eagles. If you're just tuning in, the Bobcats leading the Warbirds at the break 29-12. Christian, does that score, does that surprise you? Are you at all surprised that the Bobcats were able to kind of have their way with Abilene so early, so quickly?
No, I'm not really surprised. Like we said last week, the loss, it wasn't really a loss for them. It was just something to keep them, bounce back. Is a good team, obviously A&M consolidated, to match up against the Eagles in the district opener. This is what matters. Coach Davis, I'm sure, told them this is it's 0-0 right now, 0-0. Every team for themselves. So I'm not really surprised. I would say, we've given the offense a lot of credit. Mal's doing great. I mean, phenomenal right now. I don't want to jinx him or anything, but we got the defense side. Dobbins has been playing exceptional. I mean,
he's a guy. He looks like another Zacharian Paul.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, he is just, and he's got some speed around that corner. Once he gets past that tackle, it's wraps for that quarterback. I mean,
absolutely. So,
and then also. Ty Casey has been making a lot of big-time tackles when everybody else, kind of sits back. That man, he loves hitting people, to say the least. I mean,
that's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah,
he's very much into that.
He's got that defensive mentality for sure.
All right, so the Bobcats leading Abilene High 29-12 at the break. Roy Lopez joining us here on the broadcast. Roy, we will reply to you here. It is 29-12, Bobcats leading, Central leading Abilene at the half.
The Warbirds.
Hey, by the way, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, hey, for my partner here, Christian, or perhaps Joe Hyde, we would.
Any Nevada community questions?
Yeah, Joe is just dying to get on some
Is
Nevada,
Nevada community playing tonight even?
Great question.
That's a great question, Joe. I'm sure that we will have a briefing
Maybe
on
someone
that.
can look it up. Is Nevada community playing tonight?
So if you have a question, comment, hey, if you just want to just shoot the breeze with us, drop us a line here in the comment section, whether it's on the Facebook or the YouTube. We want to hear your thoughts. Big games tonight. We want to know which game that you're watching the most. What game that is impacting you and your community as big as Texas high school football is here in the Concho Valley in West Texas. So we're giving you some big ones, that's for sure. But we want to know which one that you are watching. Joe, by the way, we do have a highlight from Water Valley, and it's from Water Valley and Very Best from James Bellini. He's our videographer that's cruising up and down. What is that, Highway 87 over there, Joe? It goes through Water Valley up to Sterling City?
Oh, yeah. All the way to Big Spring.
All the way to Big Spring. So
that's the Ports to Plains corridor.
There we go. So we have James Bellini, boots on the ground. We're working on highlights right now from Water Valley and Very Best, Battle of the Concho Valley. They're in the north end of Tom Green County. Some good stuff there. We will get to that here in just a moment. And I tell you, Christian was looking at, I know obviously Central v. Abilene was probably the biggest game that you probably saw and that you've circled on for this week.
Absolutely.
But was there another game that maybe you saw that's like, okay, that one looks all right too?
Obviously, the obvious one is Midland Lee and Permian. I mean, Permian obviously 3-0 and looking to beat a high-ranked Midland Lee team. And, it's just crucial for Central and for the whole district, Little Southwest. I mean, that's just a huge game, a huge opener. So usually you don't see it that early either. Usually it's one of the last games of the season. So it's great to see it early, and that game and the West Texas rivalry obviously, of Central and Abilene.
Definitely. We are looking at some other scores for you tonight. We'll kind of check on that here in just a moment. But I tell you, there's a lot of, another good one, and I'm always very partial to them, is, of course, those Cristobal Cougars. Top 10 in the state of Texas right now.
Go Cougs.
You can't pass them up. They're taking on Menard down there in Cristobal tonight. A big game for them because a win would advance them to 2-0 in district play. So we'll look and see what's going on with them. Some scores to pass along to you. May and Santa Ana. May leading the Mountaineers 36-0 in the second quarter. Lone Rochelle, all Rochelle tonight 32-0 in the first quarter. Rotan, Ira, some six-man scores. Ira and Rotan 46-12. Ira leading the Yellowhammers in the second quarter. Borden County Meadow, they were 54-0 BC.
Gosh.
Borden County in that one. Lakey Medina, all Eagles of Lakey leading 32-6 in the second quarter. Ozona Brackett, leading now 28-0 in the second quarter. And hey, what do you know? Those Cristobal Cougars,
they're handing it to them.
33-0 on top.
Showing
of
why they're
Menard.
that high, baby.
Yeah. It's been some time since the Cougars have been, since there's been some smoke around them, So it's good to see
How
them.
about them Cougs, baby?
Yeah,
Let's
Mason, Johnson City. Mason right now leading Johnson City 28-0 in the first quarter. Miles Junction, more Class 2A action. Junction leading the Bulldogs 7-0 in the second quarter. Paint Rock, Irion County, all Hornets right now on top of the Indians 40-6. Rock Springs, El Dorado, a good one out in Rock Springs tonight. 7-6, El Dorado leading the Angoras in the first quarter. Shiner, Ganado, 21-0 Shiner in the first quarter. Coleman, Goldthwaite, 14-7 Blue Cats leading the Goldthwaite Eagles at the break.
Manny. Now you sit there, and I'm eating my Little Caesars pizza, so excuse me. Man, it's good. I mean, Little Caesars is the cheapest pizza you can get when you're hungry.
It's a $5 hot
out.
Betty.
Oh, it's good, and it's not bad. I mean, it's good stuff. But anyway, You put Shiner and Ganado in there,
Yeah.
and you don't have Nevada community.
Well, so the reason there's purpose for Shiner and Ganado.
The beer.
Because in that region, Cristobal, El Dorado, to advance into the playoffs, there's a meeting with those.
So this
kids
is
there.
part of your Cristobal fetish.
Yeah, well, it's repping the hometown. So
Shiner.
well, no,
Cristobal,
I yeah. So yeah,
or
so
Ganado.
when we get
Ganado.
Ganado.
Ganado? Okay.
So Frost Mart. 49-0 Mart, the defending champs, leading Frost 49-0 at the break. Windthorst Munster, no score in that one. Meridian Cross Plains, that one has been pushed back. Seagraves, Ira Ann, all Seagraves 29-0 at the break. Post, New Deal 27-0 Post. Memphis, Wellington 30-0 Memphis, leading in that one. DeLeon, Cisco, all Big Damn Lobos 42-6. Hey, in the game that we're efforting to get you some highlights of Water Valley Very Best, which we will get a chance to see in just a moment.
You said something about Big Darn.
The Big Damn
Damn.
Lobos. The Cisco.
You know, wait, when I was putting this thing up for the YouTube restream, I said this was kid-friendly.
Now, okay, so let me enlighten you why they are the Big Damn Lobos. Because in Cisco, Texas, there is a dam, okay? And the folks out there in Cisco off I-20, they are the Lobos, so when they refer to themselves as the Big Damn Lobos, they marry those two elements together. By the way, Central score right now. Tell us what just happened.
Little
there,
pass
Christian.
over the middle to Weston Hill, missed tackle, and that was about a 50-yard bomb from Malachi Brown, Weston's second touchdown of the game. That puts them up 35-12 right now before the extra point. So, wow, right off the gate, not even a minute in the second half.
Wow, so opening drive of the second half. What is
What you love to see.
Yeah, so good there. What the Bobcats are up to. We'll get you some highlights here in just a bit. So Water Valley Very Best, 34-0. The Wildcats leading the Falcons 34-0 in the second quarter. Roscoe Rawls, all Plowboys leading Rawls. Jackrabbits 35-0. Stanford Holly, no score in the first. Colorado City Haskell, no score. Some other big games that we're looking at. Winners in San Saba. The Armadillos 20-0 leading the Blizzards at the break. Some other good ones to kind of pass along to you. And that one we're waiting some scores, some teams actually get on the scoreboard there. And of course we just saw with 36 to 12 with the Bobcats leading. So we'll get to those highlights. Joe, hey, do we have the highlight ready from Water Valley?
No.
Okay, well,
Well, we will.
that's exactly what we like to hear. A lot of big six-man games going on tonight. A lot of, certainly, I think probably the game to watch, tonight. Obviously I'm always going to say the Cristobal Cougars. I'm partial to them, but I think that big game to watch is El Dorado and Rock Springs.
That's huge.
Because, obviously Rock Springs coming off that devastating loss to Cristobal last week. El Dorado needs to beat Rocks, get the win tonight to stay in
You know what the
contention.
problem with Water Valley is? Our
What's that?
videographer up there got himself a brand new fancy iPhone, and he's using that thing to do the highlights.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that thing sends stuff out at like 120 frames per second,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't work for the internet.
Does it not?
No, so I have to go back and just hold on a second. Let's see how fast I can do this.
All right, so we'll time Joe Hyde on that one. All right, let's see.
Looks
what
like
else
it's
we got
homecoming
here.
at Permian.
Yeah. In the meantime, Joe, before you get started on that, can you take us back to Tuscola, Texas, with the Wallhawks and Gymnet Indians right now?
Why did you fire Trammell?
Well, Trammell kind of. Are we talking about Trammell tonight? Are we talking?
Well, you can't just have this guy at the live desk and everyone tunes in to see Trammell.
So.
And I heard that you fired him.
No.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Now,
I heard that you fired Trammell.
I don't fire anybody, Joe Hyde. Matt Trammell has a roommate of his has come down with COVID, so he is taking precautions and staying home. He is in quarantine at the moment, so he is not manning or operating the Trammell live desk. So that's
I'm sure
where
he's watching his level.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, so We need like a cardboard cutout of Trammell here, in spirit. Well, maybe we can go get the Trump cutout. We'll
Set up a Zoom meeting right here.
Yeah, we'll just bring Trammell on in that capacity there. By the way, Jim Ned extending their lead on the Wall Hawks to 21-8.
Wow.
Man, I would think that there's maybe a talking to at the half with Coach Guy.
Oh, most definitely.
The Hawks need this one. It's been I know we're getting into double. I know it's well into double digits of how many years in a row that the Wall Hawks have been crowned district champions. Mm-hmm. I would think that'd be crazy to see if that just snapped. All of a sudden.
The kids from Tuscola were to snap that.
Yeah, that'd
be something.
Yeah, so we're going to keep a very, very close eye on that one there right now. Jim Ned leading the Wall Hawks 21-8 in Tuscola. Man, it makes a big difference when they're playing over there because crazy things happen in Tuscola, home of Colt McCoy. Whether the folks in Tuscola want to say it, some calls tend to go against the Wall Hawks from time to time, but I'll just leave it at that, to say the least. So. Big game there, 21-8. Jim Ned leading the Wall Hawks. It is also homecoming night at Ratliff Stadium with the Odessa Permian Panthers and the Midland Lee Rebels. We'll catch you up on that one. They are at the break. Right now, it is Abilene High and San Angelo Central, and it appears that
they're playing xylophones.
It appears that Abilene High just got in the end zone.
Just ran one in. Yeah.
The Warbirds, they are not ready to wave the white flag anytime soon.
Looks like they'll go for two, as well.
Joe, in the meantime, while you kind of get things squared away, how about we give the folks a look at last night's game from Lakeview against Fort Stockton. And, man, I tell you, Christian, those guys, they were in it. It was a good outing from them, up until we saw, just the shooting in the foot.
It happens.
It does happen. Wow, we just saw a 2-point conversion. The Abilene High Eagles just completed a 2-point converted in that. Man, so what does that make that?
36-20 right now, so really high-scoring game.
So it's officially a 2-possession ball game.
Yes.
So, let's see, what do we got there? All right, so we are queued up for that. All right, as we kind of get you prepared for some highlights and some more live look-ins, let's take a look at the action from last night with the Lakeview Chiefs and the Fort Stockton Panthers. To get your game face on for some action under the Thursday night lights for San Angelo Live in Cover 1, I'm Manny Diaz. Well, there he is, the homecoming king, John Mendez, repping the Lakeview defense. While the QB1, Albert My Mullet, is better than anything from the 80s, Rodriguez. And the Lakeview offense gearing up for Fort Stockton in the district opener. First quarter, Panthers already up 8-0 and looking for more. Handoff to Pedro Vasquez and look at 2-8 go. It's been said from the windows to the wall, here from the 48 to the goal line, shedding tackles down the sideline. 2-point try no good, 14-0 Panthers. Ensuing Lakeview drive, the Chiefs come back with an answer. Josh Torres takes the rock and busts loose for a big 24-yard gain to the 1-yard line, would lead to an Albert Rodriguez touchdown to make it 14-7. Under $1 to go in the opening quarter. Nothing too crazy from that Fort Stockton offense. The Chiefs defense just could not corral Jaylee Ibarra here strolling in for the 29-yard touchdown. 2-point conversion no good, 20-7 Panthers. Second quarter now, following a botched Lakeview punt, Fort Stockton takes advantage of the short field courtesy of, guess who, Jaylee Ibarra, extending the Panthers' lead 26-7. Ensuing Lakeview drive, here come the Chiefs. Check out Josh Torres, not only with a few shimmies, but some big hits and just flat out refusing to go down. Finally tackled at the Fort Stockton 3-yard line. Few plays later on 4th and goal, it's Rodriguez to Tristan Franklin for the 2-yard touchdown, and it's back to a 2-possession ball game, 26-14 Fort Stockton. But right back came the Panthers. Next drive, we've seen this movie before. Dominic Aguilar to Jaylee Ibarra for the 17-yard touchdown, 2-point try good to make it 34-14. But the Chiefs, just could not get out of their own way tonight. On second and very long, the QB1 loses the handle as the ball hits the carpet. The Panthers would eventually scoop it up for the score, extending the lead. Fort Stockton would go up 50-14 at the break. And that was pretty much the theme for the rest of the night as Fort Stockton flexed for the 65-28 win to open the district season. This was a crucial game for the Chiefs. They've already clinched a playoff spot due to only 4 teams in the district, but wins from here on out will decide playoff seeding. Nonetheless, the sun will come up tomorrow. After the game, the old ball coach, Hector Guevara.
Man, I mean, they're a good ball club. They play good. Good credit to them. But we just couldn't put it together. You know, we had some good plays, and we just shoot ourselves in the foot with some penalties, some broken coverages on defense. But I mean, you can't do that to a good team. You know, we just got to regather and get ready for next week.
You know, the first half of that, the first quarter, you guys were still in that ball game. Talk about, you know, how crucial these penalties were to you.
You know, we felt that we're in the first half. We're in the game. You know, we could have punched it in late in the second quarter, but we weren't able to. And anytime you go backwards, you get sacked. You know, or get a fumble. You know, it adds more pressure to our kids, and our playbook gets really small.
You were telling your team after the game, keep their heads up. I mean, there's still a lot of season left.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. You know, I mean, we just got to keep working. I mean, it's just one ball game, you know, and unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we wanted to. But we got to gather ourselves, for next week, and hopefully for a better outcome.
All right, so welcome back to the broadcast here on SanAngeloLive.com. This is COVER1 Live. Man, a tough pill to swallow for the Lakeview Chiefs last night, 65-28. For Tristan Franklin, we were hoping that he does have a speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
So I don't think they're done yet.
No, definitely can't count them out.
Man, I think there's something left in them. Just the fight. They never really stopped fighting.
No, never. That's just how they are up there at the north side, you know. Definitely can't count them out. I still expect great things from them for the rest of the season. And Mullet Man, Albert, for sure.
Mullet Man. I tell you, there's a guy that really impressed me last night. It was Torres. He's a running back. Man, this guy just kept on trucking. We saw him in the highlight there. He's not, he's not like a huge kid, but man, he's one of those kind of kids that he's going to get behind his pads. He's going to keep his legs a churning.
Just grimy.
And he will just file you down to nothing. Very much like those Wall Hawks. Speaking of the Hawks, it is now at the It is now at the break. Excuse me. Jim Ned is leading Wall 21-8. So you best believe Houston guy will likely have a come-to-Jesus moment there.
He's going to give them quite the talk.
Yeah, and Craig Slaughter, the defensive coordinator, this is a guy that's kind of been here and there throughout West Texas. This guy's known for having some great defensive packages. I do expect him to kind of, tweak a few things. I think the second half could be interesting in that one there. So right now, we'll give you a quick San Angelo Central Abilene High update. Christian, tell us what's going on there.
So Central got the ball back. Abilene High did not get the 2-point conversion, so it was 18-36 still. Central got the ball back, ended up punting, but Abilene muffed it. So Central's in Abilene territory at about the 20, and it's looking to be 3rd and 10 right now, knocking on Abilene's door.
So the Bobcats certainly having their way with the Warbirds. We will keep you updated in that one. Malachi Brown, I'll tell you what, he threw for a lot of yards last week. He was just an all-purpose kind of guy last week.
And it looks like he hasn't slowed down any.
No, I don't know what. I mean, there appeared to be something that there was a switch that just turned on, and it started last week.
Yeah, he hasn't let up any, and it looks like they're going for the field goal here. I'm not quite sure how long that is.
What are we at the 27? So about a 37-yard field goal, and
It's good.
It's up and it's good.
Eric Rodriguez. Nice.
So that now makes it 39-18.
What a weird
San
score.
Angelo Central leading the Abilene High Eagles. Joe, hey, we also have from our highlight from last night, or I guess the kids from the Thursday night lights.
Yeah, we got it. But now, Manny, don't start talking till I cue you in.
Okay.
All right?
Fair enough.
You ready?
Fair enough.
On your mark, get set.
Time for the best of the Thursday night lights, courtesy of Eggemeyer's General Store. There is my man, Adrian Rios. He was a QB1 at Lee Middle School last year. Yeah, the previous touchdown was of 50-plus yards. This one, 38 yards. Yeah, but we're talking football, but this is looking like a hockey game, a hat trick there. And then it is more of the freshman team, Melo Amiglio, there for the pick six. And plus, look at this guy.
Wow, that's a Palomalu play
That
right
is
there.
Dylan Ford of
What
the
a
Sonora
play.
Broncos, of the middle school Sonora Broncos. Just creeping. That's all he's doing.
He timed that perfect.
I mean,
little man just.
Yeah, look how. I mean, that's just perfect.
That's impressive, man. That's awesome.
There for the sack. Hey, folks, if you want to see your team from Thursday nights here on the COVER1 live show, hey, drop us a line on our Facebook page, or just send us you can send your video at manny@sanangelolive.com, and I'll most definitely get it to you. We'll try to fit it in the air there. That's probably my favorite play.
Dude, that's awesome,
Dylan
man.
Ford.
You don't even see that in middle school either.
You don't see that, but I tell you what, the one kid that I'm really, and this is, I feel like I'm, it's the scouting report for years to come. This kid Adrian Rios, he was the QB1 last year for Lee Middle School, a fantastic player. And right now in the freshman squad, he's led some. It was really good, and it feels weird because normally when you talk about recruiting, you talk about kids from the high school level as they go into college. We're talking from Pee Wee to to middle school to now into high school. Man, he's just such a. He's one of these gutsy kind of kids. I know a guy that you know really well, Tanner Dabbert. He played with that type of. That gunslinger mentality. And I think Adrian, he's certainly one of those kind of kids. Had 3 touchdowns last night against the Abilene High freshman team.
That's awesome, man.
So, and what's good about that win, not only for that team, that specific team, but all of the central sub-varsity teams, dubs.
Nice.
So, it's good to see, the
bright future ahead for sure.
Yeah,
it's great to hear
what the kids are doing there. So. So big things going on, to say the least. All right, so we are waiting to see some highlights tonight from Water Valley that we are efforting. Oh boy, let's see. Do we have any? Let's see what we got here.
We've been impacted by COVID.
Permian and Midland Lee are still at the half. We will get to you. We'll get some updates from that game, as well as Wall and Jim Ned. Jim Ned leading the Wall Hawks 21-8 there in Tuscola. So, Joe, what else do we have? Do we have anything else to look at there? I know I'll put some things in the queue. No, not really. Okay.
Not yet. Get feedback.
Shout out Ashton for playing both sides of the ball here, playing linebacker as well as running back.
Yes.
That's awesome, man. Big boy.
Yeah, so a guy that's playing both sides of the football.
What happened?
Let's see. All right, so a lot of games to Joe. Help us out here. Do we have any scores to kind of pass along from the website?
We got Water Valley coming up. Just don't keep talking. I mean,
Oh.
is there enough football to talk about without all these pictures?
Well, Central
Well,
just recovered a fumble.
We gotta have some things to talk about. We'll give you some score updates right now.
Well,
Central.
last week y'all could talk about how Central's light bulb came on.
Well, we've kind of talked about that, Joe. We've talked about how Malachi Brown is kind of a spark plug the last few weeks. Right now, we do see. We'll give you some score updates here. Coleman and Goldthwaite, the Blue Cats leading Goldthwaite 14-7 in the third quarter. Mart and Hubbard 56-0 Mart at the break. Arlington Lamar and Prosper has been rescheduled. That's likely to COVID. Arlington Martin and Arlington High. This is 24-21.
Wow.
Martin leading the Arlington High
What a
Colts
game.
at the break. So that's a likely, what is that, second round matchup?
Maybe
for the
first, yeah.
Bobcats. They'll likely go and play out west.
Oh, yeah, they'll likely play El
with the
Paso.
school.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so we do have highlights from Water Valley taking on the very best Falcons. And when Joe Hyde is ready to push the button on that
You
one,
can't say anything until I say okay.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Mark it.
All right, here we go. Harley Davis, yeah, the 46-yard touchdown run to make it 6-0 Water Valley. Hey, but some Harley is good, more is better. Yeah, another touchdown run. The previous one from 29 yards out, this one 46 yards out. Then Cannon Weiss, we saw this guy do some work against Erie County. Here, the 18-yard score to make it 20-0. Very best, trying to get something going. Barnes, a toss to Dunn. He throws it to Ojeda. This one,
Almost caught.
yeah. And then, hey, how about some more Cannon Weiss? 12-yard touchdown to go up 28-0. And right now, as we speak, it's a whole lot of Water Valley at this point. Water Valley and Very Best. These two teams, Water Valley looking to move to 2-0 in district play. So we shall see what happens with them throughout the night. So we'll hope to effort some post-game sound from Water Valley from the northwest end of Tom Green County as the night progresses. All right, let's check the Facebook comments. Where is Central playing at? For those who are just joining us there, playing at San Angelo Stadium. Taylor, Ashley Moeller, Cunningham. What quarter is it? They are in the third quarter of action there, with a little less than 4 minutes to go in that one. Central leading Abilene High 39-18. All right, in that one there. So. I know, Joe, we do have a guest tonight that we were looking to bring on here in just a moment. But before we kind of bring on our guest, we do have one more video in the queue, and it is the rivalry that is
Arlington Martin.
No.
Have you seen this Arlington High rivalry?
Yeah, we were just talking about that score. I mean,
look at that, 21-24. Y'all want to peek in there?
Yeah, let's take a
Heck
look
yeah.
at it if we can.
I'll try to find it. All right, so right now we got Arlington High 21, Arlington Martin 24.
Martin.
Yeah.
Manny, you remember going up there last year and covering all those Arlington Martin games?
Yeah, one was against Fort Worth Pascal. They just blasted the Panthers, and the other was against Odessa Permian. Of course, when the game against San Angelo Central there.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, we won't talk too much about that one, but of course the one when they blew out Permian, that was fun to watch from our perspective. Anybody that can beat Permian on a day like that. So right now, Martin is driving. A score would no doubt give them the lead in here. And, watching the replay just a few weeks ago, them and Denton Ryan, that was interesting to see because there's a lot of blue chip players on that Denton Ryan squad. Some guys, the Sanders kid. There's a number of other kids. They're Division I guys that we're going to be playing on that we'll be seeing playing on Saturdays and perhaps maybe on Sundays in years to come. And Martin, they held their own against that team. Obviously, big time mismatch.
Yeah.
But they managed to hold their own against a really good Denton Ryan team. This one is a big rivalry game. This is their kind of like their crosstown showdown, if you will. Martin, these guys are just relentless. They got a bunch of good scat backs. We're seeing one right here. They had one last year. He was a freshman.
Yeah, he ran all over us.
A little
I
water
remember
bug.
that. Yeah.
As a freshman this year, he's a sophomore. These.
Who's that Aggie that came from Arlington Martin? He was the big defensive.
Miles
Garrett.
Yep.
Yeah.
Miles Garrett.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just leaps and bounds, just bigger than everyone else when he was on the field. I believe Mickey Scott talks about playing against him. Back in the day when Central squared off against the Martin Warriors. So as we see here, Martin is still driving, and man, just turning the corner there. Looks like the turf monster got him. Looks like they're playing at Globe Life Park there, home of the
awesome.
old
Texas.
home of the Texas Rangers.
Yep.
Interesting game that was at Globe Life Park last Saturday. If you're a true Texas high school football fan, you may have caught Duncanville and the IMG Academy.
Oh, yeah.
And the IMG Academy is these guys just eat, breathe, and they are like they're the top tier of high school football programs.
To say the least. Yeah. I mean, Cam Newton from there, obviously. Crazy athletes, crazy facility up there too.
It's almost like you're walking, and you probably there's something that's similar to what you would see on a college campus.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They came into Texas and they pretty much just beat up on the Duncanville Panthers.
Yeah.
So Christian, y'all played Arlington Martin, right?
We did.
The ones that knocked you out of the playoffs.
They were, yes. Ouch.
So how tough were they?
They were extremely tough, and we went to Arlington, played at UTA, and they whooped on us, to say the least. First half, they were talking a lot of mess, rightfully so. Take y'all's bleep back to San Angelo. In the second half, they were real nice, I guess, because they were whooping us. Looking forward to next week, I guess. But
first half, they whooped you, and then they just like...
They were just like, patting us on the back, good game. See y'all later. It's not a good way for me to, end my high school career, to say the least.
Well, Manny and I, Manny would make me go with him to cover these things, and we went to a couple of Arlington Martin games before they met with all, and also one after, right? And we actually were thinking that they were going to be the playoff team in the first round, and we were actually sitting there saying, well, how can Central beat them?
And
it was all up to the wide receivers.
And they shut us down.
It was a guy named Gabaldon.
Yeah.
It was going to be a tough matchup for them. I mean, defensively, they had some really good some guys on that side of the ball. And,
they really did.
it was just a little bit of a mismatch there, but hey, the sun came up the next day, and everyone went about their lives there.
To get you guys up to speed, we're 4th and 9. Arlington Martin is threatening. And they're playing Arlington High. Arlington High is on the left. Arlington Martin's in the gray on the right. This is 4th and 9 at the goal in the red zone. Nope, they're gonna kick the field goal. Boom and kick. And it's no good.
So leaves it at 24-21.
Yep.
They're at Globe Life.
Back to the studio, guys.
All right, so. Live look in there, Globe Life Park there in Arlington, Texas, the one-time home of the Texas Rangers. Arlington Martin, Arlington High. Right now, speaking of Class 6A, and certainly a team that, one of these Martin or perhaps Arlington High teams could see in that second round, the Central Bobcats.
Absolutely.
Christian, give us an update on that.
Another long bomb over the middle again to Jalen Myfesty on this one. So, he's just handing out touchdowns. Malachi is. That put him up 46-18. But Abilene's not giving up. They're knocking on Central's door at about the 10-yard line here. So we'll see if they can score.
How do you feel about how they're...
Wait. We have something. We have breaking news from Jim Ned from Tuscola. This is their homecoming queen. These are important things. We're supposed to cover more than just football, Manny.
Okay.
Look at that. But you know, one of the things that's quintessential West Texas about this. First of all, the homecoming queen's a blonde. But yeah, look at all the dads out there wearing Wranglers.
Just kind of what they do.
There's a guy on the left. He must be a baker. There you go. That's the Jim Ned homecoming queen, and I guess that's the dad.
Oh. And it looks like Abilene High just got on the scoreboard once more. You know, Christian, this is a team that doesn't look like they're going away. How do you feel about how the Central defense is still kind of allowing things to happen at this point?
Yeah, you know, it's obviously not something you want to see, but it's a good thing offense is, you know, scoring at ease, to say the least. They're definitely going to hear it tomorrow as well from Coach Willis, you know. Still giving up those points still kind of affects them in a way.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's all right, though. I know Central, you know, offense is looking very sharp right now. I don't want to jinx them or anything, but looking very sharp. So, they'll be back on the field.
It is now 46-25, so it's a 3-possession ball game. You know, a lot of crazy things need to happen for Abilene High to come back, but who knows? We'll wait and see with that. Joe, looks like we have Midland Lee and Odessa Permian kind of ready to go. Whenever you're ready to kind of take that one there, looks like Lee has taken the lead. They're now leading Mojo 24-20. They're with a little less than under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter of play there from Ratliff Stadium. So, man, this is just a rock'em sock'em robots kind of game.
You know, I just have a thing to say. You know, we can go right into DFW, we get the Arlington, Lamar, Arlington, Martin, and we get that game really fast, really easy. But out here in rural Texas, rural West Texas, all of these live streams are like just jerky and janky. We need rural broadband. We need some policy out of Washington to build out rural broadband, better internet out here.
And you know, you're preaching to the choir, Joe. We'd love to see that.
I mean, the whole Panther Sports Network is now clogged down. I guess everyone wants to watch this game. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have some issues with our feed, especially if you're coming out of West Texas.
Yeah. So it's 20 to. I believe we last saw it was 22-20. Midland Lee leading Odessa
24,
Permian.
I believe.
24-20. 24-20. Lee leading Mojo there in the third quarter of play. Hey, let's pass along some scores to you. Lubbock, Roosevelt, Reagan County. Man, all Roosevelt right now, 36-0 on top of the Owls. Breckenridge early is leading the Buckaroos 7-0 at the break. For San Anson, the Anson Tigers leading for San 13-12. The game that we're waiting for this one to come back. Wall and Jim Ned, 21-8. Jim Ned leading the Hawks at the break. Another score to pass along to you from the Concho Valley. Ballinger and Grape Creek. Right now, the Bearcats leading the Eagles 21-0 at the half. More scores to pass along to you. Robert Lee and Bront, the Battle of Coke County. Robert Bront leading the Steers 42-29. What's interesting about this matchup between Bront and Robert Lee is whenever Bront was still playing 11-man before they dropped down to 6-man, and they would play Robert Lee because Robert Lee at the time was 6-man, so they'd play one half 11-man and play the other half 6-man.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Wow.
So for Robert Lee, it was going to be interesting for them because they could barely fit a field 6 kids on
a basketball team trying to play 11, man. So
right now Bront leading the Steers 42-29 at the break. That's that one's not over just yet as quickly as 6-man football can change. There. Colorado City Haskell, 26-0. The Indians leading the Wolves. Let's get some area games going on with that one. Hey, we were looking at this one a little bit early. Midland and Friendship. Right now, the Tigers leading the Bulldogs 17-15 at Grande.
Another great game to watch.
Yeah, so we're going to see the Bobcats and the Friendship Tigers. We'll see those matchups with Friendship and Midland, and of course, Odessa High. These games that they need to win.
Yes, absolutely.
They need to win. So Ozona and Brackett right now, all Ozona 34-0 at the break. And, man, the white flag is being waved in Cristobal as the Cougars lead Menard 53-0. Yikes, Arama. That's wow. Another game we're watching, Junction and Miles. Right now, Junction leading Miles 13-0 at the break. And, hey, how about that El Dorado Rock Springs game? El Dorado leading Rock Springs 14-6
Defensive game right there.
El Dorado needs to win that football game. They need to win that football game to stay in the race there. And, of course, our second, another game that we're watching, Abilene Cooper just to Northwest. The Cooper Cougs leading Northwest 24-14 in that one. And we'll kind of get you caught up on some other scores from around the Concho Valley as they come in. Mind you, if you want to look for all updated scores, check out our website, www.sanangelolive.com. It is right on the homepage. Just click on there and you get an updated look at all the scores across the Concho Valley and West Texas. All right, so we looks like we are getting ready for the second half of play there at Tuscola. They're in Tuscola, I'm sorry, with the Wall Hawks and the Gymned Indians. We are taking a live look into that one there, courtesy of the Gymned Sports Nation.
Has better internet than Midland.
Well, yeah, it appears that way. So right now,
I guess because Abilene High's not playing there.
I know. And man, the Hawks getting off to a quick start there. It's a nice run. That's gonna get them near midfield. And this one, I'm not sure if there is a true quick way for teams like that can run the football for them to score very quickly.
I mean, it's got to be like a busted coverage or something busted on the line.
It has to be busted coverage in that sense, or it's maybe somebody that's getting a little rough and tough on the O-line there.
But man, 2 touchdowns down. That's it.
Yeah, it's 21-8 there in Tuscola. Man, it's Wall really. I would say, wouldn't you say that they need to get they need to get in the end zone in this drive?
Oh yeah, they need it for sure, especially for their defense to step up and try and stop Jim Ned. I'm sure they got a nice talk at halftime, so hopefully they can pound it down their throats and score right here, 'cause that's big.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like I was always told, playing basketball, it's like the first 5 minutes are the most crucial. How big are these opening drives in the second half? Certainly when you're down.
Oh, they're huge. I mean, it really just makes an emphasis on the other team. Lets them know that you came out ready to play. You got the talk at halftime, like, you're fired up and ready to go, ready to give it to them and at their home field. So it's big time, man.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing Derek Morrison. I mean, this guy is just.
Is it Derek or is it Drew?
Drew. I'm sorry.
I didn't know you were missing me.
Drew Morrison. I tell you, he's just playing some.
Yeah, Derek Morrison sells beer.
Drew Morrison there, he is taking it up the gut, just taking a pound.
And the other Morrison, Dwayne. He's a politician.
Yeah, well, former politician.
No, he's still a politician.
You think he's still?
Hey, we need to get him back on our show.
Yeah, he's. In fact, we had a great show with him back in March in the election during the election time. Maybe we can get him back on.
3 hours of talking politics. That's almost as bad as 3 hours of talking football.
Man, but I tell you, if you can survive 3 hours of talking politics, I'm pretty sure you can survive most things in life. Let's just put it that way. So Wall now facing, they are now at midfield.
And someone called a timeout.
All right, so there we are. So we are still, we're awaiting some highlights from San Angelo Stadium. We'll get to those here in just a bit. Right now, the Bobcats knocking on the door. They are inside the 5-yard line. Tell us what's going on there.
Wait. One more thing about San Angelo Stadium. We're going to have Chadwick in here after the game.
Nice.
Yes, Ryan Chadwick. He is, in fact, you can look out for his write-up on SanAngeloLive.com following the Bobcats game.
It's like a touchdown, another Bobcats touchdown.
Bobcats just scored.
I can't tell who that is, though.
Man,
a running back.
If high school football had fantasy football,
oh man,
I mean, you'd love to have the Bobcats on your team right now.
In every position, every roster spot.
Yeah. Yeah, this is something to watch here tonight. This is the most amount of points that Central's put up this entire season.
Oh yes.
52 points. The extra points that we'll wait would make it.
Looks like Mason's running away with another game. They're coming right out of halftime in a second. They're about to run out the tunnels, but it's 35-0 out there, and I guess that's Johnson City. 35-0.
Yes, sir. That is. Man, look at you, Joe. You're finding, you're getting on the ones and twos there, finding live streams all over the state.
X's and O's, baby. See, I can even show you the field before halftime ends.
Oh boy! All right, so
I guess they're picking up all the feathers and stuff from the band. Fell out of their hats.
What are those feathers for, Joe?
Don't ask me. I'm not in band.
Oh my gosh! All right, so 35-0 there. Mason leading Johnson City, and that one I would assume that's perhaps the white flag might be waved sometime soon.
What do you mean the white flag? You give up on Johnson City? You know, you do the same thing to the Nevada community, wouldn't you? They were having a hard time. Nevada community were down 35-0. You was, well, I guess it's time for them to wave the white flag. They're not going to win anyway this year.
Bye-bye, Braves.
Well, Joe, when you're down 5 scores, you know, and you don't have a whole lot of momentum on your side, it's tough to come back. It is tough. Tough to come back. Hey, Joe, we are seeing Midland Lee and Permian back on the order.
Back. Okay.
And it looks like Permian just got the football. They're back, and they're driving at this point. And I tell you, that's their offense. I wouldn't call it. It's something you don't necessarily see a whole lot of at the not the 6A level. It's a whole lot of running the football. It's almost reminiscent of what, you know, back in the 80s with the Boobie Miles of the world and you know, the Chris Comers. You know, you saw the student body left, student body right. You know, because you had those the fat boys,
the burly
on
boys,
the line.
Yeah.
And they still run something of some significance that's similar to that with, you know, the wing tee.
Does the quarterback not always wear 25? I thought he does.
It's something always in the 20s.
In the 20s?
Something always in the 20s. They're not you know, they're not one-dimensional by any means. They will throw the football. And it's almost a surprise when it does happen with that.
They threw a little screen right there.
Yeah. So right now it is Midland Lee leading Odessa Permian 38-26. So could it be that Lee is gaining a little bit of separation here? We shall see. There's a little less than 4 minutes to go in the third quarter of that one at Ratliff Stadium. So, Christian, you know, did you ever get a chance to play at Ratliff Stadium? Certainly at the varsity level?
Yeah, I did at JV level. I did. Yeah, I went off that game for JV.
Yeah?
Thursday Night Lights. Yeah, I think I had like 2 touchdowns versus Permian. Tanner, shout out to him for throwing them to me. But I think we lost that game though.
Oh wow! So Tanner was a quarterback?
He was my quarterback, yeah, for a while. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he made the transition.
Man,
I'm glad he did.
Well, it worked out pretty well because
perfectly.
He's pretty darn good at catching the football.
Absolutely.
And taking it for 6. That's for sure. Joe, I know we do have a guest to get to here in a bit. If we do.
All the live streams. Every West Texas live stream just went down on me.
Oh,
what's up with that?
Okay.
But anyway, we're going to fix it.
I think Permian's punting right now anyways.
Well, we do have a rivalry story to get to that is in the queue with San Angelo Central and Abilene High, the rivalry that is there. It is in our video queue. Whenever we would like to, we can transition to that. We can bring on Brian Garcia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wall and Jim Ned right now. Wall leading the Indians, or I'm sorry, Jim Ned leading Wall 21-8 from Tuscola. Joe, if you look in at today's date, 10/16.
Keep talking.
Any
Looks like
updates?
Friendship is has a drive going versus Midland High. They're on their 40 right now, looking to see if they can push forward. I'm not sure. Are they at Shotwell?
That one is at Grande there in Midland. As we speak.
I mean, yeah, Grande.
All right,
That's a nice stadium.
In the meantime, let's go ahead and we'll get some score updates here. Ozona in bracket.
It's like another Abilene High touchdown here.
Ooh, so
with a little under 5 minutes to play, Abilene High gets on the board again.
So the Warbirds not going quietly in the West Texas Knights.
Not at all. A little hitch route, broken tackle. Kente, make that tackle, please, and then score.
Man, that's I tell you, that's they're not giving up.
No,
that's
they're
for
making
sure.
it look a little prettier.
So I would assume that the black shirts there from Abilene High, they are needing a stop if they're wanting to do something meaningful.
Something spectacular.
Yeah, they're going to need a stop here. Central's going to need to continue. Malachi Brown's going to need to lead another drive to keep Abilene off the scoreboard. Hey, another some scores to pass along to you. Sonora and Brady. Right now, Sonora Bronco Nation leading the Brady Bulldogs 44-13 in the third quarter. This one you can pretty much just consider it over and done with. Mart, the defending state champs, just taking it to Hubbard, 77-0. Mart is probably a third to fourth round matchup for a district from the likes of Cristobal, El Dorado. So that's kind of why we kind of peek in with Mart and some of those teams down in that Central Texas area. It's a region that Cristobal's or El Dorado, Rock Springs, that they're not really familiar with. But this year, for the next 2 seasons, going to have to be. Some more scores to pass along to you. Winners San Saba, all Dillos right now, 42-0 leading the Blizzards. Let's see, very best Water Valley. Man, this one 45'd. Water Valley just taking very best down tonight, 63-6. That is the final score. May, Santa Ana, May 51, Santa Ana nothing. That one is over and done with. Hey, another score that the Wall fans might interest the Wall fans out here. Brock and Ponder. Right now, Brock leading Ponder 28-13 in the second quarter of that one. Breckenridge early, 7-0 early, leading there. Great Creek, Ballinger, 21-0 at the half. Looks like some of these are still updating there, so we'll kind of keep you updated as those come in. Joe, do we have anything to look at?
Not yet. We're working it.
We do have have you located the piece, the rivalry that is?
No.
Okay. Welp.
I'll tell you what, man. This internet situation right now is killing me. Well, we can go back to Wall if you want.
Well, let's look at something to give the folks there there in the interwebs something to look at.
All right, Wall is trying to make it back. They're still down 21-8. So Jim Ned is still wiping them. But the good news is Jim Ned hasn't scored since we last looked at him about 5 minutes ago.
All right, so Wall is hanging in there, but on the other hand, the Jim Ned Indians, they are driving. So they are now in Wall territory as they inch closer to that goal line there. Man, this is you can always expect just a tough ball game between these two teams. They play each other so well in just every sport pretty much, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, it's track, it's a little bit of everything. Do you remember, what would you say from your time in the high school days? What was that rivalry, that type of game, that kind of matchup? It was going to be across the board. You knew there was going to be something involved in there.
Throughout all sports, probably Weatherford for us from, my days. They always had really good volleyball team versus us, and they'd always go into, 5 sets.
Yeah.
Baseball, all the sports, basketball too. They always had some talent up there, those kids.
All right, so we're seeing more of Jim Ned and Wall there, and man, look at this play here, and getting inside the 20 to about the 15. Jim Ned inching closer. Moving the chains, exactly, is the best way to put it there. So, man, how tough. I mean, Kristen, do you think a comeback is out of the realm of possibility if Jim Ned is able to get on the scoreboard here? Do you think a comeback is possible for the Hawks?
I think for a lot of teams, it would be not very possible. But, for the Wall Hawks, as we know them, they're kids that never give up, have a lot of fight in them. So you can't count them out just yet. But, it'll be definitely a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, and certainly with them, the way they run the football, it's a team that, that they got to have that momentum rolling. Yeah. And certainly whenever the clock
it's just ticking. Yeah, you got to air it out sometime. Yeah.
You got to start doing things that are uncharacteristic at that point. So we'll see kind of what happens in this one with that. A defensive stop, they're going to need a turnover in this one here. And it looks like, Jim Ned is on the board again. So a very, very, very big touchdown for the Jim Ned Indians, and they are now up 27-8. Joe,
looks
are
to be
we
a
still
flag.
live from Tuscola?
It's was.
Yes. So there it is.
No, it's a flag.
It's a flag, yeah.
So hold the phone there.
On the offense too.
Hold the iPhone.
Put
it on mute.
Put him at a long second down, I believe. Second and about 19-ish, 18-ish.
That looks like a hold in there?
It looked like a hold, I think on the wide out to the right.
Yeah, because there was a lot of room there.
Yeah.
Something had to happen.
This might be Wall's part of their break to change the momentum. Maybe, who knows?
Oh, nice.
If they can hold him here.
Yeah, let's see what they do. We'll drop back for a pass. Nice sack by Wall. Wow, that's going to put him at a second and 30-ish. Second and a lot.
Well, we'll have to look on the roster.
Second and third and a mile over there. So that's huge. That penalty is huge for Wall.
It's a big break for them. Yeah, Wall needs a big stop heading into this next play.
I don't know why they're playing so close, honestly. There you go, back up.
All right, so a little hitch out there.
And I'm wondering, I guess they'll kick maybe punt it. No?
Do you think that's 4-down territory there, Christian?
It's looking like it here. Looking like they're going to go ahead and go for it. I mean, that deep in their territory, in Wall's territory, you might as well.
All right, so we'll see what happens in this next play here. Is this 4th down?
This is 4th down, yes.
All right, so they're needing to get inside the 10-yard line. And, oh my goodness, looks like he's just shy of the 1st down. But I mean, that play,
regardless, yeah,
it's gonna put Wall deep in their own territory. It's gonna pin them deep.
This is another problem we have with these West Texas things. The camera guy always takes pictures of the window, frame.
Oh yeah. That can mess up some touchdowns.
Definitely mess up some touchdowns.
So yeah, Wall taking over.
All right, so we shall see. Let's see. I know we're still waiting on our guest.
Is he here yet?
Mm-hmm.
Let's get him.
It's like a stuff on first down for Wall.
All right, okay, so watching this, Christian, you can tell it's first down.
It's second right now, second down.
All right, second down. So you can tell without anything, any comments or anything from the TV.
Tell what?
You're looking at the referees?
Oh no, I just have been watching Drew Morrison to the left on this one. Looking for option man, but looks like the running back outran him, Kai Herbert there. Little miscommunication. Not what you need right now. And I think that's gonna wrap the third quarter there. Man, oh man.
Joe, if you can signal for our guest to come in, and we do have them mic'd up, ready to go. And right now it is Christian. If you want to give us an update from San Angelo Stadium,
53-32 with minute 50 left in that one. So looking to be a victory formation after this first down that they looking to get. I got my man Michael Creek in the ball game too. So shout out Michael.
So a big man. This is without question a huge win for the Central Bobcats.
Absolutely.
And we now have Tyler Hill. Tyler Hill, a quarterback.
That's Michael Creek, my
Michael
man
Creek.
from Sonora. Getting some reps in.
Right on. All right, Joe, if you want to cue us to the live feed, and that way we can get ready for our guest to make his way on the set.
We're working it. You know, I don't understand why Permian went dark on me. It's kind of depressing. All right, going to the live feed. This is going to be Wall at Jim Ned. Why is it called Jim Ned, Manny?
Well, that's just kind of how it is out there.
I bet he was a Confederate.
I do not think so. Highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. Oh, and wow, look at there. There is a big stop for the Jim Ned Indians. And that looks like a turnover deep in the heart of Wall territory.
Not a lot of yards gained on that drive for Wall.
That does not look good for the Wall Hawks moving forward. Yikes. This sets up Jim Ned deep in Wall territory. And I don't know, Christian, you know, it's going to be tough to come back on a team if Jim Ned can get a score.
Absolutely.
So there we are, Jim Ned. Man, they are just punching it in, and look at that. That is a Indian touchdown as we speak. Man, right now, Jim Ned just taking it to Wall. So it was, what, 21-8?
It was. That'll make it.
Make sure it's Mike's on.
That'll make it 27-8 right now.
So,
before the extra point.
Following the extra point there. So, wow, man, I'm not. I wouldn't count out the Hawks, but man, that's going to just be really tough to come back from. Certainly when the offense that they run, Jim Ned just really not allowing much of anything. All right, hey, for those who are just joining us on the program here with COVER1 Live on SanAngeloLive.com, join us now is Mr. Brian Garcia.
Hello.
Owner operator of the Corner Stop there on North Chadbourn.
Yes, sir.
Man, we're glad to have you
Thanks,
here on
man.
the program.
It's like a big honor to be asked to. It really is like to be like actually like thought of to come on. So I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Brian, before we get started,
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Why in San Angelo? You know, I grew up pretty much on the border.
Right.
We call them tacos.
Right. That's
Here in San Angelo only. A taco's called a burrito.
It's a colloquial thing, right?
It's a
colloquial thing. It's like, you get a master's degree in this taco burrito thing.
well, let me freshen you up.
yeah.
You know, it's strange because I lived in Austin for 11, 12 years. And when I moved there, you know, living in San Angelo all my life, we called them burritos. You know, you go to Austin, you're like, tacos. I'm thinking tacos like crispy. But no, it's like flour tortillas. And you go to San Antonio, the same thing. You know, we're the oasis of Texas.
Oasis of burritos.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what we have. We have burritos. Now, I grew up in Del Rio half grew up in Del Rio. So I have a little bit of history with Julio's.
Right.
And so I know the Garcia family there with Julio's.
Right.
And they claim that San Angelo has totally messed up the whole taco thing.
Wow.
Down in Del Rio they did.
It hurts.
Now,
Oh,
Jose
right.
here, he's like,
Right,
I'll
right,
go
yeah.
with burritos, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, San Angelo, we do use burrito for anything that's on a flour tortilla, and tacos is kind of like, it's become a little bit more interchangeable. Now when you say burrito, it means a taco, and taco means burrito. So if somebody tells me a taco, I know exactly what they're talking about now. It took me a while to get used to. And even maybe like 15 years ago, taco hadn't made its way to San Angelo just yet. We were kind of keeping that word out.
Keeping the burrito?
Yeah, it was kryptonite. But yeah, it's interesting to see how even cultures within cities move around and make its way into our society.
Well, Brian, we know you so much with what you do with the Corner Stop. Are you a sports fan? Do you dabble with what goes on?
You know what? Now that I'm a bit older, you know, having kids and a business, I don't really have time to follow sports like I did. But when I was a kid, like I loved football. Like
Okay.
I loved football. I was into baseball a little bit, but like football was my thing. Like, I loved the Cowboys. I was a massive Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Can I hear the boos out there? No,
Man, yeah.
There's nothing but love.
Yeah, it's tough being a Cowboys fan these days, just because you know there's just always so much against them. You know.
That and the injuries that happened last.
That was brutal.
Man, that injury
unfortunate, man.
was by far the worst thing that you could probably witness as
a Cowboy fan, or even as a sports fan.
as a sports fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even
so-
Cowboy haters felt for him.
Dak
man.
Prescott's ankle was going this way and his leg was going the other
It was
way.
terrible, man.
Yikes!
He's
Yeah.
going to be out for the season though, so hopefully, I don't know, maybe next season we'll see him
Yeah.
come back. So
Yeah. So you grew up here in San Angelo. Were you a Central or Lakeview grad?
I was a Central grad.
Central grad.
Central grad. Graduated from there. Went to UT. Spent a lot of my parents' money for 2 degrees in business management and evolutionary biology, and then
Evolutionary biology.
Right, yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
yeah, it's my 2nd degree. The business side was more of a practical approach, and the evolutionary biology thing was like a personal passion of mine. So I know that 2nd semester that I was at UT, I went to the Galapagos, you know, where
Really?
a lot of
Wow.
research, yeah. So I went down there, and I really got discouraged when I was starting to get towards the end of my degree, and I was doing like helping undergrads, you know, do their research, and I was helping them out in the lab and like running, you know, DNA gels and doing electrophoresis and all that stuff, and I realized that I'm not cut out to be like it's field science. So you're out by yourself, you're in the elements, you're taking notes, you're doing all sorts of descriptive things. Then you go back to the lab to sit by yourself for hours upon hours. And I mean, it's meticulous.
I can
It is
imagine.
so meticulous. Do one thing wrong, you have to do the process all over again. But it was a lot of fun. It was a learning experience, and it's still my passion. It's a lot of fun to talk about.
Well, that's an interesting aspect, you know, about you. What can one do with that kind of degree?
You know,
Are there a lot of options?
Not with an undergrad degree. You'd have to get master's or even a doctorate to do. You know, a lot of it would probably be dealing with field research and new, you know, new discoveries and things like that. Because at the time I was doing, it was an asexual clam. I'm forgetting the name of it now. but it was like an invasive species from Asia.
Oh, wow.
So they were taking over like the natural waters of Texas. So I was helping her research like their DNA and
Okay.
kind of trace back their chains, like where they were actually coming from.
Oh my
Wow.
So
God.
it was really neat.
That's some intensive that's some intense stuff.
Yeah, it's very intense, and like you have to do a lot of like everything needs to be documented, because if you mess one thing up, it's like everything you did was
Wow.
you know, for nothing.
All right, so whenever I say Odessa Permian,
Oh,
what immediately comes to mind? Share what.
anger, no. No, just you know, it's a heated rivalry, especially with Central. You know, I graduated from Central. Let's tell my age here. 20 years ago is when I graduated
Okay.
from Central.
Okay.
So even back then, like, you knew the big game was Permian.
Permian. Most
And
definitely.
people would travel to or from San Angelo to Midland, Odessa area just to see and catch that game. And it was, and we, the kids, the whole school, like, lived for that game. It was really cool, man. It was there was a fever around the few weeks coming up to it, the approach to it. That was it's special, man, because to be part of a deep-rooted rivalry like that in West Texas, it's, you know, what, Friday Night Lights, you know, when that movie came out, it was like, oh my God, like, we know all this.
Yeah, that's
pretty cool.
I guess the birthplace of it. I mean, they kind of gave, I don't want to say the birthplace, but they did give a lot of fame to West Texas and what we were about, just because of what they had out there. But hey, speaking of mojo, right now the Panthers leading Midland Lee in a very, very heated rivalry game, 41-38. Mojo on top of Midland Lee right now, 41-38. Midland Lee is a top 25 team in the state of Texas. In fact, they are the only top 25 team representing West Texas in the AP poll. So if that tells you how good Midland Lee is this season. Permian, not there. San Angelo Central, no, not there. So Midland Lee is kind of representing. Man, that's a good ball game. Christian, did you see what score went into that kind of made that?
I did not get to see it, no.
All right, so imagine we'll catch you up on that. Now, Central, that game with Abilene High, that's gone
That's
final.
officially over, yes,
Final
sir.
score, can you pass along to us?
It should have 53-32, I believe.
Okay. All right,
Something of that
so
nature.
San Angelo Central is now 1-0 in district play. It is their first win of the 2020 season. It's Brian, I don't know if you've had a chance to catch up or check in with what Central's been doing the last few weeks. It's been a tough 3 weeks. You know, they started the season 0-3. They're playing some really good football teams.
I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's been tough goings with them. But last week they played a really good A&M Consolidated team down in College Station. They're the number 3 team in Texas, and took them the distance, almost beat them on the road. And
led
they
them
kinda
at one
just-
point, too.
Yeah, and they kind of just took Abilene High to the woodshed tonight.
That's cool. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so big win
I was going
tonight.
to say, I've seen a lot of social media posts, like, from my friends. They do a lot of what do you call it, the band, the flags, and that stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of my friends, their parents upload a lot of things like that. So it's cool to see everybody get into the spirit. So
Definitely.
best of luck to them for the rest of the season.
All right, so next week, Christian, we'll see Abilene. Well, not Abilene High. We'll see the Bobcats. If you can kind of bring up the schedule for the next few weeks for the Bobcats, we'll talk about that with Brian here. Right now, the Wall Hawks. Man, this is Brian. I don't know what you know about the Wall Hawks. Imagine if you probably hear about them. Oh man, they do some pretty cool things out there. Very good football team.
Yeah.
Right now, they are down to Jim Ned, 28-8. Very uncharacteristic, but this is
We're at halftime right now, aren't we?
now in the fourth quarter.
Oh.
They are needing some points quick, fast, and in a hurry. But right now, it is Jim Ned with the football.
How
And
much time is left?
I know we're probably at the halfway point of the fourth quarter at this point here. So
Looks like Central has Friendship next week, who's
Okay.
battling Midland High right now, I believe.
Okay, so the next 3 weeks, Brian, for the Central Bobcats, we could be looking at some wins.
Absolutely.
And we're talking Friendship, Odessa, and Midland. I'm not going to call them like bad teams. We don't call any high school team bad.
That's right.
But these are winnable games. How we the best way to put it. Certainly, I think with Odessa, that's we can pretty much chalk that up. Friendship will be, I think, very competitive.
So speaking
game.
of winnable teams, like who's the big dog in there?
Well,
big team
if we Midland
to look
Lee
out for?
is the team that everyone that is very well known right now. So it's and right now they're down to Odessa Permian at Ratliff Stadium.
Wow.
So it's a huge ball game.
Oh yeah, it's only 3 points.
Yeah, and that's probably one of the. I mean, if you can look, you can probably say. I mean, I know you can probably make the argument. And wow,
Look at that
Joe,
run.
whenever we can, we just saw Permian get in the end zone.
That was an amazing play.
And right now, this is going to make it a 2-possession ball game as we speak. Looks like it is a nice little pitch. This is not a pitch.
It's a QB keeper. Yep.
With Permian and Midland Lee. And wow, what a game that this one has turned into. So
that is cool.
right now, Permian is going to take a 2-possession lead into this one. This is what is it? The halfway point of the fourth quarter.
It's about the halfway point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's probably
Should
fair.
be like 5 minutes left.
Yeah, so it's So Brian, the answer to your question. So yeah, Midland Lee is the team to beat in this district. They're regarded as one of the best, as the best team in West Texas right now, according to the AP Top 25 poll.
Oh, that's cool.
So if Permian can pull off an upset, that immediately
puts them
in the driver's seat to win the district and to perhaps maybe be the favorite to beat Central. I'm not going to go.
Whoa.
I'm not saying that, but that's what a lot of other folks would likely say. So, in fact, we talked last week, and I'll ask you this because you know you're versed on that Permian Central rivalry. We talked about it. It's like when the Panthers, when Mojo's relevant, it makes things a lot more fun to watch. And I made the comparison, and Trammell kind of gave me some heat for this one. That I almost compared them to the Dallas Cowboys. You know, when the Cowboys are relevant, it's fun to watch on Sundays.
It's fun, yeah.
You know,
it is.
because they're that West Texas team. You know, they're the glimmer of our eye around here with Mojo. But man, would you kind of agree to
We're going to peek into the Permian game.
All right, so Joe has now officially dialed us up here. Midland Lee, in fact, we are probably going to catch the best part of this game here. They're down 10 points to Odessa Permian in the fourth quarter. They're going to take it within about the 23, 24-yard line here in the next few moments. So this drive is going to be huge for the Rebels moving forward. But back to that question, Brian, does that make sense, that the fact that if Permian's relevant, it makes things a lot more fun around here?
It does, because I think, you know, Permian has always been seen as the team to beat. So as long as, you know, that quote, you know, King of the Hill is still there, it's like, it's always fun to topple that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun. It's always fun just to like, oh, you think you're so cool? Like, let's knock you down. You know, it gives people, you know, something to look forward to and talk about, and you know, especially with like the older, like me, I'm older. That's what I'm talking about, me now.
Chadwick's here.
You say Permian, and you know it sparks all sorts of.
All right, we're second down here. Midland Lee with the ball.
All right,
Second and
so
9.
Drop back.
Mikey Serrano.
Man,
He's going to go down.
Man, that Permian defense is, you know, there was a lot of question marks for what Permian was going to look like this season. Tonight, there is no doubt about how good that they are being able to contain a guy like this. Mikey Serrano, known to be just a very diverse quarterback and being able to run the football and just throw it deep last season. Permian's kind of had their way with him tonight. Wouldn't you say, Christian?
Absolutely.
Third down and long.
Expecting a deep pass here.
3rd and 11. Here we go.
Oh,
Looking for someone
Serrano.
open.
Getting some pressure.
What's Serrano going to do?
Okay, he's out.
And that is an
4th
incomplete
and 11.
pass. So,
Big fourth down here.
Christian, let me ask. Well, I'll ask this to both of you. So I'll start with Christian. There's 3.5 minutes left in the ball game. Do you go for it right now?
Absolutely, I believe you have to go for it. Yeah.
Brian, if we'll play armchair quarterback right now. This is almost like you're at the Madden sticks.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say go for it, man. Like, you have nothing to lose.
Except the game, yeah. This is a big down for them. 11 yards to convert right here. Midland Lee needing a first down just to stay in the ball game. Oh,
overthrown.
and just out of reach. Christian, do you like the call to go deep with 3.5 minutes left in the game?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if I would have went deep. But at the same time, if you complete that, you know, you score the momentum. You still have some time to stop Permian.
But the question is, do you go man-to-man coverage? Or are you just doing zone out there? You got to read that, right?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's a legitimate question.
The band guy is telling you all
band
this
guy.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's almost like what we saw last week with Central. So, Brian, to catch you up, Central had an opportunity in the last 2 minutes of the ball game to beat A&M Consolidated. It was on a 4th down. They go for it, and they not only go for it, but they use a trick play, a flea flicker, and they throw it to the end zone, and it was just a little too hot. But yeah, and it's almost like in a play like this, obviously not the flea flicker, but you know, I think that's probably. I mean, it's going to take something big unless Lee can get a turnover here. I think this one's probably just about done.
And they only have 1 timeout left as well.
Wow. So yeah, the Cards are certainly getting stacked against the Rebels right now, with 2.5 minutes left to go in this ball game. So
look at that. Wow.
Oh, and it looks
man.
like Permian.
Wow.
Yep. Ball game.
Wow.
Another touchdown.
Permian just found its way into the end zone. And I imagine we'll get the replay of this one here. And so this one looks like the Midland Lee Rebels will go down tonight. And this is how it was done. It's pretty much the same play that we saw how they
Just to
scored
the
the
opposite
previous
side,
drive.
yeah.
That option, 2-0, rocking that Mike Winchell-like number there into the end zone, and that's likely going to do it for the Lee Rebels tonight.
You need to cue the explosions in the sky.
I know. The explosions in the sky, yes.
Brian, you know about explosions in the sky being from Austin now, right? Are you familiar with the band?
No.
Okay.
So explosions in the sky, if you go back to the movie Friday Night Lights, it's all the guitar, the electric guitar riffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's I mean, if you hear that, it automatically defaults to the Friday Night Lights.
All right.
Yeah. Joe, if you bring us back here on camera.
Oh, my goodness. There we go.
So, Brian, you are a collector of rock and roll music.
Yes.
But not explosions in the sky.
Not explosions in the sky. That's the one band.
Not quite explosions in the sky, but you are a very intense collector of a particular group. Tell us a little bit about that. You've actually been featured on some national publications for this.
Yeah, so I collect Oasis memorabilia. Oasis is a 90s band.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody may know them. If you aren't familiar with the band, if you heard the song Wonderwall, Champagne Supernova, they sing that. I just started collecting. I've always had this, maybe it's a personality disorder. I've always enjoyed collecting, but now I collect Oasis memorabilia, and it's now the biggest Oasis collection in the world. And I have like MTV awards, guitars, clothing used on music videos.
Wow.
I have drum kits used on recordings. I have amps. I have handwritten lyrics, all sorts of things. We can go on and on and on.
Gosh.
But yeah, I was featured in, I've been on the CBS Evening News with Noel Gallagher. I've been on the Oasis documentary. I was featured on that. There was a reissue of the box set. And my name, if you go out and buy the Be Here Now box set, the 30th anniversary, like my name is in the album for providing them with handwritten lyrics to feature in like a coffee table book that comes with the.
That's something.
That's awesome.
That's something, man. That's very impressive.
Thank
you are a collector of that.
Thank you.
And you're from San Angelo, and
Yeah.
you have the largest collection
In the world.
of a band that
It's
magnitude.
British.
Yeah,
It's English. I'm sorry, English.
English band. Yeah. I follow you on Instagram and following you on Facebook, and I always see your collection there. It's like, wow, that's That's pretty. That's
Thank
pretty
you,
cool.
man. Thank you.
Looks like Arlington Martin ran away with it, 52-21, and they're
Wow.
kicking off right now with 40 seconds left in the game.
Yeah,
So
so-
no way that Arlington High is going to catch up.
Yeah, the Martin Warriors. Man, I think that's the start of their district season tonight, if I'm not mistaken. We've seen them. Christian and I were just talking about this. They opened the season against a top-ranked Denton Ryan team. Denton Ryan, mind you, is the #1 team in Texas in Class 5A, Division 1. So yeah, that's the kind of team that they are. They're playing Arlington Martin. Certainly, they held their own tonight against a rival of the magnitude.
They scored a lot of touchdowns really fast because it was 24 to
I know
21.
that game turned around
Yeah,
very,
gosh.
very dramatically.
How many high school games do we have going on tonight?
I mean, well, let's see. This is kind of the list of what's kind of going on
Wow.
tonight. We'll actually get to some of the
Quite a few.
some
Oh,
of the
wow, you guys have-
scores. In fact, if you're looking for
And he knows every mascot, but
if you're looking for the scores tonight, you can log on to www.sanangelolive.com
/scores.
If you don't feel like putting in that URL, hey, just log on to the website. So it's right on the homepage. You can check it out, and we'll give you the goods right there. It appears that Midland Lee is going to fall tonight. That's kind of our upset. I think that is the upset of the week, and I think
Absolutely.
probably up to this point the upset of the season. What we've seen. I don't think. I think Christian and we expected Midland Lee to kind of
Yeah.
just cruise. to this,
absolutely.
and-
Especially from what we've seen from
Yeah.
Permian so far.
Yeah.
And take down a top 25 team like that, man, that's tough. And it's crucial for Permian.
But
to say the least.
what's interesting about them is, they throw out rankings, they throw out every single thing, and it's just like, I mean, it's very it's a very intense rivalry. I mean, that's that rivalry unto its own is being regarded as the best rivalry in West Texas.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I know you, and it's whenever you start throwing Central in all those, I mean, that's it. So. Man, what a game. Right now, Permian leading Midland Lee 55-38 if you're just now happening to join us. An update from Tuscola. That one is officially final. The Gymnet Indians defeating the Wallhawks tonight 28-8.
So I guess Trimble
Man.
knew something, I guess.
Gymnet knew something big time, and I know for a fact that the Wall community, or the Wall head coaches, they knew something about. They've been talking about this Gymnet team for the last few years.
You were trying to say the Wall community?
I know what you're trying to get to.
Oh,
there.
no.
He's
Nevada community. You know, I
So-
could not find a live stream. I looked everywhere.
So Brian, just to catch you up here, we'll give you the Cliff's Notes of this. Joe has adopted. No. Let me back up. Have you ever heard of Nevada, Texas?
No, I don't believe I have.
Well, up until week 1, neither did yours truly. Neither
Nope,
did Christian.
not a clue.
Heck,
Neither did I.
even Joe Hyde knew where Nevada, Texas was. But they have a high school there. It's a Nevada community. And they were playing a team that Wall is likely to face in the playoffs, Brock. And Brock just basically took them out to the woodshed and beat the snot
I
out
felt
of them.
sorry for him.
Yeah, it was
I
bad.
felt sorry for
It
Nevada.
was very bad.
Because it sounded like it was like some kind of religious cult. And they're just getting beat up by these Brock cowboy hooligans.
Yeah.
So the reason why Nevada community made it on the scoreboard was because they play Brock. Wall's likely to play Brock. Yada yada yada. Well, Joe has now adopted them as his.
And we have to put them on our scores. We always put Nevada community on our scores. But
Yeah.
the problem is they never play on Friday night. They like playing weird nights because they're a cult. Anyway,
Little Tuesday night.
anyway, we
football.
got scores coming up. I got a little update here. If you go through some of these, Manny.
Yeah.
Starting off with Abilene with San Angelo Central. We got the final there from Deersky and Deersky, 53-25. Lakeview, of course, played yesterday. Fort Stockton took them to the woodshed, 65-28. Waxahachie Life. That sounds like an insurance company. Waxahachie Life. And then Midlothian Heritage. 2 insurance companies played tonight. 37-6. The
Oh
Heritage
my
took out the
gosh.
Life.
Merkel and Millsap, we'll look at that, 45-27. Seagrave, 70. Ira Ann, 18. Comanche, 14. Well, Eastland beat Comanche, 31-14. Roscoe falling to Hamlin tonight. And then we have rescheduled as Highland Sterling City. Forsyth Anson tied in the third quarter at 20. Fourth quarter still Refugio and Kennedy. We're looking like Refugio is going to beat them in their fourth quarter, 27-0. Quarter three, Richland Springs, which is out here near the Concho Valley. I guess you can call it Cherokee. So they got a little close ball game there between these two small schools. Hawley, 15-8 over Stanford, quarter three. And McCamey is beating Wink. Wink is losing they're sinking. And then Hermley, 48-28 over Roby. You know, Trammell does such a better job with this than I do.
Can you?
But,
is the
but
El
there's your team there, Manny. Brock, 41-19, quarter three over Ponder.
Well, I tell you, Brock, they're not a bad football team. I think that's a pretty good district with them in Pilot Point. So I think Wall is likely to see one of those teams come the playoffs of the postseason. But the way we saw tonight, Jim Ned is now on the driver's seat of this district. And it's theirs to win now unless something just very drastic happens to the Jim Ned Indians down the stretch of the season. I highly doubt it. This game was for the district title. If you think about it, just because of how good those teams were, how good those teams are. But you never know.
That's what we thought with Trinity too, and Haltom would whoop on Trinity.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But it's also a different district.
Very much so. So your Wallhawks, they fall tonight. 28
to 8, I believe.
28 to 8 in that one there. So. Brian, we'll play a game here. It's called Name That Mascot.
It's my favorite.
We'll test your knowledge of the mascots in West Texas and certainly in the Concho Valley.
Put me on blast.
We're going to put you on blast tonight.
We got some more score updates if you want to go do the mascot thing with the scores.
Yeah, in fact, we'll rock that here. We'll start. Let's see. Let's knock out some area teams here, and we'll even throw in.
We got some updates that just came in, and I'll start scrolling over in a second here with you, Manny, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Deersky and Deersky scoreboard. They're brought to you. The scoreboard's always brought to you by Deersky and Deersky Realtors. Of course, we got the San Angelo Central. They're beating Abilene tonight. Lakeview falling for Stockton, but now we have Big Spring and Andrews. Andrews 42, Big Spring 28. So the question is, Brian, Andrews, what?
Mustangs.
There we go.
Nice.
Right. Big Spring. Bears.
Steers.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
That's
Ends
half a
with
point.
an S.
Half a
Yeah.
point.
But the real question is, these two insurance teams, Waxahachie Life and Midlothian Heritage.
Rock of Prudential.
Rock of
Prudential. That's the same company.
Oh, it's a mascot. It's the Rock.
No, one of them's got to have flow.
Oh.
All right, never mind. They're from Dallas anyway.
There
So
you go.
Merkel, Millsap.
You ever heard? By the way, have you ever heard of Merkel, Texas?
Yes.
Okay, so it's in just west of Abilene.
Merkel. Steve Merkel. No, I don't know.
The Badgers, the Merkel Badgers, they fall tonight to Millsap,
That was my
45.
next guess.
I like
It was either Steve Urkel or a Badger.
There we go.
Wrong guess.
There we go. Let's get to some area teams. Lubbock, Roosevelt, Reagan County. Folks out in Big Lake.
Ooh, I don't know. Oil field?
The Owls.
Oh,
57-0. Roosevelt beats Reagan County tonight. Breckenridge and Early Long. Oh, I just said it. Early Longhorns.
Yes.
I'm
50 for 50 on these mascots.
Breckenridge.
You gotta have me back. Wow. Breckenridge Rattlesnakes.
Buckaroos. You're in the neighborhood there.
Buckaroos.
Ozona and Brackett. Ozona takes down Brackett tonight, 40-0. Who do you think the Ozona team is?
really good one.
Really
We're
good
the
one.
great
Really
team
good one.
according to that score.
Yeah.
40-0.
Yeah.
Think of an animal
They got
that just
they got to
demolishes things.
be. They got to be like the elephants or something.
Yeah.
The biggest animal out there.
The woolly
They-
mammoth.
King of the jungle.
Yeah. The king of the
The
jungle,
lions.
the Lions. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
yeah, look at that.
Then my hometown, I'm always excited to talk about them. The Cristobal Cougars.
They're
down.
the Blizzards, right?
No, the Cougars.
Oh, the Cougars. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I'm waiting for just a joke that's that might get us canceled at this point with Joe.
No, I'm trying to be good tonight. and
Okay.
Our ratings are going to be down.
All right, yeah. But before the night's end, Joe, you'll have to perform the Nevada Community Fight Song for Brian Garcia and our loyal fans that
That's what I
have.
came for.
Yes, that's exactly what he came for.
This is like, go ahead. This is like a free buffet.
It kind of goes like the Eyes of Texas.
Oh, okay. Let me get through a few scores, and then we'll circle back to the Nevada Community Fight Song. Cristobal 60, Menard nothing. Ballinger 41, Grape Creek 0, Mason 42, Johnson City nothing. Miles Junction, Junction taking down the Bulldogs 25-6. El Dorado Rock Springs. Hey Christian, we were watching this game. El Dorado leading Rock Springs 21-6 in the fourth quarter. They are in need of a big win there. Friendship Midland right now. The Tigers leading Midland High 23-15. We'll see the Friendship Tigers next week in the Lubbock area. The Central Bobcats will. Let's see some of these others here.
Lubbock falling to Canyon Randall.
Yep.
52-0.
There we go. Robert Lee Bront, 42. Bront. Robert Lee, 37. A big win tonight for the Sonora Broncos. It's now in the fourth quarter. If they can hold on, imagine they will. 44, Sonora. Brady, 13. Coleman, 21. Goldthwaite, 7. More from the Concho Valley. San Saba, 42. Winners, nothing. And 45 tonight. Water Valley beats Very Best, 63-6. Brian, are you familiar with six-man football?
No, I mean, I've heard of it.
You've heard of it. So what's
Not
unique, and
versed
we always brief our guests that come on the show every week, there's a potential for a 45-point mercy rule in six-man.
Right.
So
Yes, I've heard of
if
that.
they score more than 45 points or more,
How it's
Dunskies.
done,
Yeah. So there we are. Water Valley 63, Very Best 6.
I'm noticing a lot of scores tonight are a lot of like high scores and 0. What is up with that?
Yeah, I'm not too
there's
sure.
A pattern. there's a lot of like,
A lot of
40
goose
plus
eggs.
A lot of goose eggs.
Yeah, Borden County, one of the best teams in six-man football in the state of Texas. They beat Meadow tonight, 61-8.
Wow.
The Dumas Demons, that is exactly how it sounds, Dumas. The Dumas Demons. We'll leave it at that. 42-0 over Plainview. Erie County, I thought I saw this one. Erie County 40, Paint Rock 6. We're updating these scores. You can check them all out at sanangelolive.com. /scores. Speaking of Joe Hyde, Joe, hey, how about that Nevada Community Fight Song?
Oh, on the spot.
Yeah. How does it go?
Do you need to tune up there? How does that work with you? Okay.
I got it, man. You ready?
Yeah.
Nevada community fight, Nevada community fight, Nevada community fight. Nevada community is always going to win because they're the best team in Texas football. Amen. How's that?
Not bad.
I've been working on it. I mean, I'm trying to
That's
get
probably
better.
the best one. That's the best one so far, I think. I
It's
like that.
Yes, can we clap? Are we allowed to clap?
yeah.
That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful.
That song it takes a life of its own each and every week. It's modified every week.
You just
So-
combine them all and put it into one song.
So what you heard this week is a complete different rendition of what we heard last week. So
It keeps getting better.
These are demo tapes.
the demo tapes, yeah. We will look to bring on Mr. Ryan Chadwick here in just a few
Talk
moments.
about that central win.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
For all the folks in San Angelo tonight, it's time to party here in the 325. The Bobcats winners tonight over the Abilene High Eagles. First win of the season. Not only that, but it is a first district win. You can scrap what happened in the first 3 weeks. Doesn't count. This is the season that counts. They're 1-0 right now in Little Southwest Conference play.
And the bars are open.
Oh man.
And that too, Joe Hyde, the local watering holes.
Bars are open. COVID is up.
Oh man, here pretty soon I'm gonna go Al Borman.
his own show. Like,
I
what
know.
are we doing here?
We're just gonna put Joe Hyde, San Angelo Live, care of Joe Hyde.
So, Brian, what do you think about the COVID being up?
You know what? I'm
Did
not.
you even know it was up?
No.
Well, we had a headline today that one of our young writers
Right.
put up there
Right.
and
Oh,
said,
actually, I did hear about. that,
the
yeah.
bar's been open for 2 days, and we had 52 cases today. It's 2 days.
Mhm.
And they're saying that that's not enough time for the COVID in the bars to, I guess,
Make its way.
petri dish to work
Yeah.
its way into
Yeah.
the public health department's reporting. So I'm kind of thinking maybe it is because, these antigen tests.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all, a lot of them are immediate.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, well, how does that even work? Like, who gets immediate? Who doesn't?
It depends on your status in society.
Oh my gosh.
All the poor folk, they gotta wait for 2 weeks.
Oh my
Hey man,
gosh.
you got the COVID.
Yes. You definitely need this.
Joe Hyde,
Joe Hyde, everybody. Another round of applause.
We'll include that here in just a bit. Back to football, Texas high school football. Thanks for those that are continuing to join us after that. Hey, El Dorado is winning over Rock Springs 35-12 late in the fourth quarter, thanks to Christopher Martinez. Thank you for that update on the old Facebook. Thank you to those who are joining us on Facebook and on the YouTube. We appreciate you. Big win tonight for the Central Bobcats. Unfortunately, the Wallhawks, wasn't as good for them as they fall to Jim Ned 28-8. This is going to disrupt a long string of consecutive district championships for them.
Probably what's happened is, we had that big water main break. Are you familiar with that? Have you been following San Angelo Live News today?
Not
We
today.
had
I was
massive-
prepping. I was.
We have swimming pools in our streets because of these water main breaks.
It was in the Santa Rita area.
You're right. I did know about that.
Not Santa Rita, it's Santa Rita. Now, for y'all that are tuning in from Nevada community, because I know I have a fan base there now. Santa Rita is the hoity-toity part of San Angelo, but they had a big old water main break. And then they told everyone they had to boil water. So I think it probably had something to do with the water. Maybe those Central Bobcats didn't drink boiled water. They got some kind of special.
Like dysentery.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
That's why they ran so fast.
Hey, what do you know? This hour presented by San Angelo Cardiovascular Center of Excellence and Dr. Leon, the fine folks there. If you need a second opinion on your leg sores, it's just to go.
Or a COVID test.
Or COVID test. Thank you, Joe Hyde. It's always nice to be enlightened by the COVID and the water main breaks of San Angelo. Now, interesting enough, we do have Mr. Ryan Chadwick. We'll bring him on here in just a few moments. He's going to talk about this big Central Bobcat win tonight. Brian, how pumped were you to see that the Bobcats got the dub tonight?
Absolutely. I'm always happy when our Bobcats win a game. That's where I went to school. That's where we live. You always want to see your community succeed in whatever way. So,
especially with the water system we have.
That's right. Especially with that, any good news is good news when the water's breaking.
By the way, they just released an advisory from the police department that the boil water thing is still in effect. Still in effect. So the vast majority of the city is still under a boil water notice.
Okay.
And, that's all it says.
Okay.
Vast majority of the city. So drink the water at your own
if you
risk.
want. Yeah, exactly.
Or do like Manny and drink Topo Chico.
Yeah. So I enjoy a refreshing Topo Chico, to say the least.
They are not a paid sponsor, by the way.
They are
Manny.
not a paid sponsor.
So actually, they're not that good.
Okay. Well, it's up for debate. Bobby Pete Martinez wants to says we know the Bobcats won, but what was the score? Well, Bobby Pete Martinez, the answer to that: Bobcats 53, Abilene High 25. Thank you for joining us tonight. Man, big win for the Cats. I know Christian Gabaldon, the former. Did you know Christian was a former Bobcat last season?
No, really.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
sir.
was-
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a standout wide receiver for the Cats for the last
Yeah,
two
man.
seasons.
Very cool.
We're fortunate to have him here talking football with us each and every Friday night. So, yeah, it's good. I know it's the Bobcats. It's been something that's been in the works. I feel like they've been close. You know, week one was probably maybe the closest to what we've seen. But week two was what it was. It was a blowout loss. But the last few weeks, man, complete turnaround for these guys.
Absolutely.
Joe, by the way, do we have a video we can get to before we get to the transition to Mr. Ryan Chadwick?
We do, but it's 14 seconds long. What can you do in 14 seconds?
Well, what can I do in 14 seconds, Joe Hyde?
Well, you
It's
know
the
what?
question.
You know, while you're doing that, I'm going to switch you over to another camera,
Oh,
and we're gonna interview Christian here. We're gonna find out why Christian can't get excited about the Bobcats winning tonight.
I am excited. What do you mean?
Whoa.
I am
Like
excited.
that.
I'm
I
super
In your
excited.
face, I mean, you're just
Man.
like, yeah, they won.
oh,
Really?
Come
Come on
Bobcats
now.
team.
Come
Yeah.
on. You've seen me. You've seen me. No, I love them Bobcats.
Do you love the Bobcats?
I love them.
Do you love them more than the Aggies? I guess so.
Come on.
Well,
The
You're
The
right.
Aggie-
He loves the Aggies. There goes Chadwick.
hook
on
'em,
the
baby.
Aggies.
That's right. Hook 'em.
yeah.
Don't leave me
well,
hanging.
I'll leave you hanging on that. That's, yeah. Anywho, Joe, I know we are efforting some highlights from the Central ball game.
We have the highlights, but they're not that long.
Okay.
Do you have the shot sheet?
I do have a shot sheet that we can look at.
Now, the deal is, I don't know which one's Bobcat 1 or Bobcat 2, so we're just going to have to, play it by ear.
Okay.
Now, I've had these queued up for like an hour, and you just been yap about everything else. Everyone wants to hear about the Bobcats, and there you are yapping about the Nevada community. and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so here we go. You ready?
Yeah, we'll see what we can do here.
You think we can see?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Talk.
All right, so here we go. There's Malachi Brown. That's to Weston Hill.
Wide open.
Yeah, wide open, and that's made it 7-3 San Angelo at that point. Then the Central defense doing some work there, but it's that is
was
Isaiah.
Dale, yeah.
Isaiah Dale runs it in, and that was to make it 22-9. Next portion of the highlights. Here, that is
Life Festy.
to Jalen Lifesty, and that made it 46-25 Central up.
Primo. That's my primo right there.
Yeah, and Abilene would march right back down the field, and that is
Fumble recovered
that is
right
a
there.
fumble recovery, and that's what pretty much Fonzo Dotson, I believe that is him rushing it in for the Warbirds there. So tonight,
Hey, why was it so dark?
well, that's just kind of how
Did they turn off the stadium lights,
No.
Chadwick, for the lights? Because it's like really dark in the video.
No, it was just how the video ended up tonight. As the Bobcats win it 53-25. Joe, before we welcome in Mr. Ryan Chadwick, I did have a piece there. It's talking about the rivalry that is Abilene and San Angelo Central. Is that not even on the card?
It's not on the card.
Okay.
Look at the face of desperation there.
Man. Okay. Let's see. Well, what else can you bring up for us? Hey, why don't we bring up those the Lakeview highlights and we can transition into something else here.
Actually, I have a plan.
What do you got?
This is my plan.
No, not
Yes.
that plan.
The plan. I have the plan. But we're not going to be. We'll be talking to other people. I think, maybe. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
It's working.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna turn your mic off. I'm gonna turn mine on. All right. Can you hear me?
Well, we can hear you, yeah.
All right. We're going to go check out the score room. Y'all ready? Here we go. There's Chadwick waiting in the wings. And then there's James Bellini. We're just kind of showing you the back side of the San Angelo Live thing here. And here they are doing the scores. Over here to your left is Sonia, and there's Yantis Green right there. He's working hard. He's probably just now updating the central thing. And we're, oh, you're trying to film me back. I
I'm
see.
Snapchatting you.
Oh no, Snapchatting me? Snappy chats.
You're live.
Snappy chats, all right.
Get the president in there. Get the president. Oh, yes, we have President Donald Trump.
Oh, we got the president. We're gonna have to get another one in about 4 weeks, aren't we? Anyway, anyway, we're still working it in here. How are we doing? Nothing's happening. All right, how about those Bobcats?
Look at the page.
Did they win?
For our scores.
All right.
Look at the page.
We're watching the stats in real time here. That's kind of how we do things at San Angelo Live, and trying to maximize our audience. Anyway, this is the brains of the brains. Yeah, look at that, man.
400 people on site right now.
400 people on San Angelo Live. If you're not one of them, it's sanangelolive.com/scores. So anyway, we're still waiting on him to get Chadwick in there, get him all mic'd up. Thought y'all might have some fun looking at the backside of it. Is Chadwick ready yet? Look at this. Here we go. We're back in the live cover 1 set. And Manny, I'm sorry I had to go with the back scene, the scenes and behind the thing. What do you call it? Behind the scenes look. Are you ready?
Yeah. Ready as we'll ever be. Okay, so let's get back to this central win. First and foremost, big thanks to Brian Garcia, owner operator of the Corner Stop on North Chadbourn. If you're looking for some amazing breakfast, you want to go check out Brian's spot there on North Chadbourn. One of the best breakfast spots in town. You can't go wrong. Go check them out there. Some of the best burritos, breakfast tacos, whatever you may call them. Whatever is. I know there's certain areas of Texas. Chadwick, are you a burrito or a breakfast taco guy?
I'm a breakfast taco guy.
So do you refer to it as a breakfast taco?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, there's people in the universe that call it a burrito.
I've never heard of it.
I'm a burrito guy.
Okay.
I've always just heard it.
So
burrito
Christian's a burrito.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll be the Supreme Court justice here that kind of severs it here. So I spent a lot of time in San Antonio, South Texas, a little time in Kerrville, and they refer to it as a breakfast taco. So,
Yeah.
and I've had some of the best breakfast tacos in that area.
I know in Corpus too. Corpus they refer to it as tacos.
See, that's what I've always heard too. Like even at like chain stores like Whataburger and stuff like that, they call them breakfast
the breakfast
tacos.
taco. But hey, regardless if you're looking for a breakfast taco, breakfast burrito, go check out my man Brian Garcia in the corner stop there on North Chadbourn. All right, hey, back to the good stuff tonight. The big win, Central Bobcats taking down Abilene High 53-25. How good was it to see these cats the way they were tonight?
First of all, Manny, I don't know if you remember me, but last week said that they're going to hang 50 on them and win.
He did.
They
there we
50
go.
on them and won.
Okay, all right. Okay, well.
Let's just put it this way. After the 3 weeks that they've had playing opponents that are incredibly gifted, really good teams,
Mm-hmm.
it was nice to see the Bobcats finally put everything together.
Mm-hmm.
Offense was pretty much unstoppable the entire night. They were firing on all cylinders. Malachi Brown looked comfortable. He was accurate. The receivers didn't drop any balls. The running game looked good. We got to see multiple running backs throughout the night. Averett actually hadn't played much before this, and he led the Bobcat rushing attack. He came in late and just no one could stop him. It was great to see. Defensively, they made the stops when it counted. They still have some room to grow. They still got gashed for too many yards and too many big plays in certain areas. But when it
gave up
mattered
lots
the
of
most-
points. I
yeah.
mean, that's I wouldn't say lots of points, but I mean they gave up some scores down the stretch.
I'll just put it this way: like the last two scores were garbage time anyway. The game was already away. But when the game mattered, on two different occasions, they held Abilene High to field goals. You know, that bend but don't break philosophy.
Yep.
They got gashed down the field, but as soon as they got up into the goal line, they're just like, no, you ain't getting through here now. But to add on to that, they also got two takeaways that were really big. That first one you saw in the highlight, it was a fumble. It was right after halftime. The Bobcats hadn't really been stopped on offense still, but neither had Abilene High at that point. Abilene High forced a field goal from Central and then came back and scored another touchdown. And so it was really important for the Bobcats to make a stand and say, okay, all this momentum you build up, it's done. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
So, like, they forced the fumble, they got it, and after that, the game was virtually out of reach. So,
Well, so the Bobcats, they get the win tonight. Obviously, you did expect this. You said they'd hang 50 on the lean, and that they did. Do you think that this trend of playing, that this can continue in the next few weeks? I guess that's what we all really want to know.
let's put it this way. If Malachi Brown remains this accurate, yes, like this offense will continue to go places. Again, it looks like the central offices of the past couple seasons at this point. And I knew that it would just take them a little bit to get going. I mean, Christian, you know, the receiving core needed a couple weeks to get everything going.
Yeah.
There is no quarterback controversy. Just put it that way. Malachi Brown had
over and done with.
He had 5 touchdown passes tonight. He looked
no
great.
picks, right?
No picks.
No picks.
And
no turnovers at all, actually.
That's great, man.
Yes.
Because he has that gunslinger mentality that he can fit in any window.
In fact, some of his throws were like window tight.
The one before halftime, right? That
I
one
was impressed. There were several times where I was up getting excited. I was just like, "Come on, guys, let's go!" You know. But overall, great performance on both sides of the ball. Central defense could use a little bit of work in their secondary, but again, as the season progresses, more practice, better defensive play. So.
Definitely. Next week is French. Well, we did see Midland Lee fall to Odessa Permian tonight in very dramatic fashion. I think that's probably the upset of the entire
which is
week.
very surprising, by the way.
Yeah, that's Midland Lee was the lone representative of West Texas in the AP Top 25 poll. There will likely be no more. I don't think Permian has enough to move into that Top 25. But, I mean, it goes to show that, Lee is beatable. And I think certainly if Central follows this type of template, they play like this, anything can happen when they get to that point of the season.
If Central's offense continues to play like this, it doesn't matter how many points Midland Lee scores. If Central also scores every time, then we'll be in good shape. So it just takes 1 or 2 plays on defense, like 1 or 2 takeaways. You know what I mean? So I know Midland Lee is good this year, but they're not beatable, or they're not unbeatable. So moving forward, it's going to be interesting to see how Central does.
That's for sure. Christopher Martinez chiming in tonight. Final score 35-12. El Dorado over Rock Springs. He's looking forward to El Dorado versus Cristobal. No doubt who isn't looking forward to that game. If you, especially yours truly, C-Town. I'm going to go ahead and say it. That's my alma mater. I think they're going to get the dub in that one, but that's for another conversation, Mr. Christopher Martinez. Talking Bobcats here with Ryan Chatter. We can catch his write-up later this evening, later tonight on SanAngeloLive.com. Was there anything that surprised you tonight? Anything, Ryan Chadwick? We'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, let me actually just think about this real quick. Bobcats kicked a 40-yard field goal. That was pretty impressive.
Okay.
Other than that, though, it was like the accuracy from Malachi Brown. Like, he just didn't miss the mark. He maybe had 2 incompletions that weren't catchable. Like, no overthrows. He led the receivers when he needed to. He's been struggling the past couple weeks. So that's what impressed me the most was the quarterback play. It was just like it was a great performance.
Yeah, no doubt. And it seems like when we were kind of watching this, it seems like the Bobcats they had an answer for every time that they were on the field. And when you hang 53 points, obviously you have more than one answer.
That's a happy Coach Crane right there.
Tonight.
Once the entire night.
Wow.
Man. Okay. Well, that's good to know. The next few weeks should be, I'm not going to say they're playing against bad teams, but they're games that they're very much winnable. We'll see Friendship next week up in the Lubbock area. They'll come back home against Odessa High for homecoming. And then it will be Midland High. And then the last 2 games of the season.
Biggest ones.
The biggest games that we'll see all season long at Grande Communication Stadium against the Midland Lee Rebels, who fell tonight to Odessa Permian. And then the finale, the district finale against the Odessa Permian Panthers, Mojo, here in San Angelo.
And we got to win that game.
Yeah, gots to win that game.
I can't stand losing.
No more Mojo. We'll have to wait another week to say that. Anytime San Angelo and West Texas gets to say no more Mojo, it's a good week. So, but that's been put on ice, that's for sure. Chadwick, it's always a pleasure having you on, talking Bobcats football. Last night you were hanging out. You and I were hanging out together at the Lakeview game. Man, I feel like they're close. They're close to doing something if they get out of their own way.
And that's the problem with the Chiefs right now. They have an incredibly explosive offense, but they just seem to put obstacles in their path that they don't need.
Nope.
Whether it's turnovers or penalties, it's usually one thing or another. And like a bunch of these guys will be back next year for Lakeview, so like they could get scary.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying.
Yep. No doubt.
But this doesn't put them out of contention for this year either. Like they still have a shot at,
beating Big Spring isn't out of the realm of possibility. Now beating probably Andrews, that one might be a little stretch because Andrews is pretty darn good. But finishing in that number 3 spot, I think that's probably where they're going to be hanging out when it's all said and done. Who knows?
Like it is what it is when it comes to that, but that Big Spring game is a very wonderful game for Lakeview.
That's incredibly meaningful for the Chiefs. So when that comes around, final thoughts from the night?
I think that next week, dare I say?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll
not only will Central win,
okay,
but they're going to continue this offensive success, and they're going to score 35.
So 35. Right, okay.
Putting up 35.
I like it.
Okay, at least 35. So if we see more than that, we'll play a little over under.
Let's set the over under at 35. Right?
Okay.
I say 35 or more.
Okay. Right on. I think for the betting folks, for the folks that maybe like to roll some 7s here in San Angelo. They would take you up on that bet.
Central's favored by 7.5? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think they have betting lines for high school football.
Oh man, if they did, wow! I think a lot of us might be in trouble. Nonetheless, Ryan Chadwick, it's always a pleasure having you on. You can catch his write-up on SanAngeloLive.com coming up tonight. Always good to have you on. We'll talk next week. The Bobcats will be in Friendship. Of course, we'll have a stream here for you, and we'll have you here at the half, and we'll have you at the end of the game, and just always a good time, man.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Joe, if you want to get to the scores, can we get to some scores around here?
Heck yeah. We're going to get to the scores. As soon as I get to the scores.
Oh boy.
Show hot, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, we really miss Trammell. We want Trammell back.
Yeah, Trammell's on a bit of a quarantine vacation at the moment due to a roommate of his catching COVID. So we'll probably see Trammell back next week. We'll try to fit him into the show via Zoom.
Well, Trammell said that he'd rather just get sick and have it over with in 3 days and be back at work just like Donald Trump.
Just like 45.
Just like number 45. Yeah. But that's Trammell.
Yeah. So, Joe, if you want to get us to the scoreboard or the scoreboards, and Yep, whenever you're ready. In fact, Joe, if you want
Here's
to read
the
us,
scores. We get the latest update brought to you by Deersky and Deersky Realtors, the real estate professionals of Texas. Of course, we were just talking about San Angelo Central. They beat Abilene 53-32. Yesterday, Lakeview fell to Fort Stockton 65-28. Fredericksburg 713 points. Who put 713
What
points?
in
You
the
can't score
world?
713 points on there. You know, whoever put that score in needs to get fired. But I think it's probably 71-35, or it could be 35-13. I don't think it would be like 73-35. Anyway, but I think it's probably 35-13. Argyle, Carrollton Ranch View. Argyle 70-point spread there. Whitesboro over Pilot Point 24-6. Borden County 61-8. Stephenville final out of Stephenville is 56-21. And then there's Lakey. Lakey beating up on Medina right down the river, I guess, from them, 56-6. Ozona over Brackett. Oh, poor old Bracketville Tigers. 40-0. Midland, of course, fell to Friendship, Lubbock Friendship, 37-23. Cristobal, what a shutout over Menard, 66-0. Dumas, 42, Plainview 8. Over in Johnson City, Mason once again continued their district wins, 55-0 over Johnson City. Junction 33-6 over Miles, and there you go. Canyon Randall 59-0 over Lubbock. Erie County, this is a final, 56-6 over Paint Rock, and of course El Dorado down there in Rock Springs. We were talking about that, 35-12. That's the final at Rock Springs. Arlington, they're in the DFW Metroplex versus Arlington Martin. We saw Arlington Martin finally take control of that game, 52-21. Shiner, the beer guys, beat Ganado 57-0. Coleman 28 over Goldthwaite 7. Hubbard over Mart 0-77. Windhorst over Munster 18-7. And then Odessa Permian, this is the upset of the night. Odessa Permian defeating the nationally ranked Midland Lee Rebels 55-44. Seagraves over Iran 42-0. Wichita Falls Ryder versus Lubbock Coronado. Now, of course, we were at a Lakeview game when they played Wichita Falls Ryder.
Wichita Falls Hershey.
Was it Herschel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hershey. Anyway, Lubbock Coronado 51-13 over Wichita Falls Ryder. New Deal falling to Post 39-0, and then Bangs over Ingram Moore 47-15. Wellington, way up there in the Panhandle where they have really tall football players, defeated Memphis. Man, they went all the way to Memphis, Tennessee. Anyway, I'm just kidding. 52-16. Winners, oh my goodness, San Salvador's got a good team there, 45-0 over Winners. Eastland, 31-17 over Comanche. And look at this one, 84-81. Richland Springs over Cherokee.
Wow.
Sonora beating Brady 44-13 tonight. La Mesa over Shallowater 28-0. That's a shutout. Another shutout. Haskell over Colorado City. That's still in the fourth quarter, but it's probably getting close to end. McCamey over Wink 38-33. Lubbock Cooper over Lubbock Monterey 49-8. And then there we got Bronx over Ponder 56-19. Corpus Christi. What do we got Corpus Christi in here? I guess they're playing at Cal Allen, so that makes it good. Cal Allen over Corpus Christi Midland, or Corpus Christi Miller 34-27. Big Spring losing a heartbreaker tonight. Andrews 49 for Andrews, 35 for Big Spring. Lamb passes over Burnett 45-7. And here's our life insurance guys. They're still in quarter three. Midlothian Heritage over Waxahachie Life 37-6. Final here out of Millsap, out of Merkel. 45-27, Millsap over Merkel. And Hamlin 49, Roscoe 13, that's a final. And we have the Sterling City Highland game was rescheduled. And, man, you got to hurry up with these cameras because there's only so many scores I can show them. We're coming down to the end of the line. So, anyway, going back to something here, we just went blank. How about some highlights?
Oh.
I'm gonna go back to Kristen real quick. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that to you. You're just my guinea pig. Smile, Christian. You're on camera.
It's just me right now. My boy Manny's
Manny's
working
gone.
on. He's working on something right now.
Christian,
So,
why don't
yeah.
you tell me what's going on in these highlights, because I'm just the band guy.
I can't. It's kind of froze right now, but I know about basically
Well,
what happened.
I know that there's
Beautiful throw from Malachi to, who was this, Weston Hill. That was the first touchdown of the game. You love to see it. First drive they had of the game. So shout out Weston, his first touchdown this season. There we had a nice run by, I believe that was Isaiah Dale on that one. Just a great running back committee they have over there. A few ones that they can hand it off to.
look
and
who's back.
expect big things.
Yeah, man, big outing for the Central Bobcats offense tonight. As Chadwick pointed out, they only punted once.
That's just a
And
great stat to hear.
That's amazing unto its own.
Mhm.
It is night and day from what we've seen with the Bobcats. Certainly from the first 2 weeks of the season.
Mhm.
The last 2 weeks, or this week and last week, of course, has just been,
Yeah.
these guys are playing like world
They're
beaters.
balling, yeah.
And just balling out of control. So it's been a lot of fun to watch, to say the least. And that we'll go to see if any of our folks. Let's see. So Chadwick said they'll hang 35 next week, and they will beat Friendship.
And he was right about this week. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
he called it. He very much
Nostradamus,
called it.
something.
Yeah, Nostra Chadwick.
Nostra Chadwick.
Christian, what do you have a prediction for next week? I'll ask you that.
I like as Chadwick explained, I don't expect them to slow down any.
Mm-hmm.
Another away game for them. They haven't played great, but against A&M Consolidated, they did play well.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, momentum from this week. I'd expect them to put up 35 at least and come out with the win. Hopefully, defense can allow less than what they did this week, as they allowed 25 of them.
Yeah, 25. Yeah,
So
and they came up with some turnovers.
Yeah, they did.
And last week
They
they
did.
came up with a few turnovers as well. So it's like that trend is going up.
yeah, absolutely. Turnovers are huge in games, and I'm expecting much of the same next week as this week for sure.
Okay. We did see somewhat of an upset this week with Wall going down to Jim Ned. Man, that is very unfortunate because
tough.
that is an end of just a line of district championships.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that they're going to lose the district. I mean, there's some things that can certainly happen between now and the end of the season. But man, it puts them behind the 8 ball in a number of ways
Absolutely.
because now you have to rely on Jim Ned losing. I'm not sure anyone else can beat them in the district. So, hey, Brian, Candace, Mendez, Ozona beat Brackett 40-0. Thank you so much for that. Congratulations to the Ozona Lions, man. They are putting on a heck of a season. We saw in week 1 they beat Sonora,
yeah.
for
First
the
time
first
in a while.
in 10 years.
Yeah.
I know the folks in Sonora, they haven't been particularly happy of how things have been going on this season, but they did get a win tonight over Brady. So yeah, I imagine they'll call it good at that point. So good for them. And I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask you. But was there a game that it was just like, man, that was the upset of the night? That was just a fantastic
I mean, I think
game.
we all can agree with the Permian Panthers
Yeah.
coming away with that huge win against Midland Lee. I mean, not really any of us expected that in a way with the way, they didn't play bad the first couple weeks, but it wasn't, anything special like we had seen from Midland Lee. So, yeah, it was definitely a huge win for them and it puts them in a great spot for this district season.
Perhaps, maybe begs the question, is Permian back?
Do
we need to start talking about that?
I don't like to talk good on Permian, obviously, but I think tonight proved that they can ball for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and they definitely someone to look out for. I mean, they already were obviously, but now even more.
Yeah.
So.
More so than ever.
Mm-hmm.
Man, big win against just their rival from down the interstate, Midland Lee. Man, it's a huge win tonight for them.
Yeah, man.
Of course, the Bobcats will see both of these teams in the final 2 weeks of the season. Should make that's made for TV drama.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
that's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
give us the storylines that you can imagine with that. So we'll take one final look at the scores from around San Angelo and the Concho Valley before we wave goodbye. We'd also like to say thank you to Brian Garcia, our guest tonight, owner-operator of the Corner Stop. Go check them out for some of the best breakfasts in town, North Chadbourn there. Lakeview fell last night 65-28. Your Central Bobcats winners tonight 53-32. Ozona, from Brian Candace Mendez, 40-0 over Brackett tonight. El Dorado gets the win over Rock Springs 35-12. For the folks in El Dorado, I'm going to burst your bubble right now. They will lose to Cristobal.
Wow, you heard it here
Yeah.
first.
It's my bold prediction for that one there. And heck, I'll even say a score in that one.
Okay.
Um,
You write this down?
yeah, 35-27, Cristobal over El Dorado. Boom. I'm gonna go.
So a
Chadwick
close
on
one, but
this.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that one out there. I know the folks in El Dorado may not like me for that one there. Robert Lee 43, Bront 42. My
Wow.
goodness.
That would have
And
been a
Bront
great
was-
game to be at.
Yeah, Bront was actually up in that game and managed to Robert Lee just came back and just
Wow.
put it to him. So wow, what a game there. Lubbock Roosevelt 57, Reagan County nothing. Roby Hermley 58, Roby 28, Breckenridge early 21, Breckenridge nothing. Jim Ned 28, Wall 8. Probably the one. I mean, if you talk next to Midland Lee Odessa Permian, that was the upset of the night. Man, I guarantee the Hawks, they'll be back. Can't rule out a district title just yet, but it's not looking too good for them unless Jim Ned happens to lose down the stretch. Midland, Friendship, the Tigers getting the dub tonight over the Bulldogs, 37-23. Cristobal, 66.
Something
Menard, nothing.
Something like.
Goose egg, baby. Dumas 42, Plainview 8, Johnson City 0, Mason 55, another goose egg there. Junction 33, Miles 6, Lubbock, Canyon Randall, the Randall Raiders 59, Lubbock, the Lubbock Westerners nothing. Erie County Paint Rock, Erie County, the kids from Mertzen are back in the win column, 56-6 over Paint Rock tonight. We talked El Dorado Rock Springs. El Dorado, your winner 35-12. Arlington Martin 52. Arlington 21. Coleman Goldthwaite. Coleman 28. Goldthwaite 7. Seagraves 42. Ira and nothing. Another goose egg there. Winners in San Saba. San Saba 49. Winners nothing. Sonora, Brady, Sonora, the folks down in Sutton County, man, I imagine they're pumped tonight. 44-13 winners over Brady. And then we kind of get into some of these. Ballinger, Grape Creek, the Bearcats, back in the win column, 41-0. That they were tonight over Grape Creek. Albany 61, Ranger nothing. DeLeon Cisco, the Big Damn Lobos, 48-6 winners tonight over the Bearcats. And Water Valley Very Best. Water Valley 63, Very Best 6, 45 there. May, Santa Ana, another goose egg here. May just dominating the Mountaineers tonight, 51-0 in that one. All right, well that's probably going to do it for the scores tonight. The final thoughts tonight before we say goodbye, Christian.
A lot of I want to say a lot of good games, a few good games, a lot of goose eggs. Excited for next week. Every week from now on, district. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the true season of smiles and cries,
Absolutely.
because these games, they're all meaningful from here on out, and whoever wins these games, that's what you're going to be looking at towards the playoffs and the teams that are representing your district and certainly representing your area and representing West Texas. So, thoughts on the Bobcats?
Keep it up, boys. Y'all are playing great. I'm loving it. I'm loving watching it, obviously through stream. Malachi, you're doing great. Defense, Dobbins, Kyson, leaders, keep it going, man. Y'all are doing great. I'm loving it, man. Sick 'em.
Sick 'em cats, yes. It's most definitely it's better when we're talking a central win. We finally get to talk that with Coach Davis on Monday in the weekly press conference with him. So good stuff from the Bobcats tonight. Looking forward to them playing against Friendship next week on the road in Lubbock. So we'll see how that one rocks and rolls. And then, of course, we'll see how the rest of the Little Southwest Conference shakes out. So for our score crew tonight, for Sonia Ramirez-Munoz, Janice Green, Janessa Nunez.
Yeah, Janessa Nunez on the Snappy Chats.
On the Snappy Chats, as Joe would refer
Snappy
to.
Chats. We get very important to have the Snappy Chats.
Yeah, got to have the Snappy Chats. And then, of course, our guest tonight, Brian Garcia, our writer who was at San Angelo Stadium. You can check out his write-up tonight, Ryan Chadwick on SanAngeloLive.com.
But not Trammell.
Yeah, and so got to say, Matt Trammell, he's not COVID positive, but he does have a roommate that's tested for COVID, so he's waiting his results. So we'll see what happens with him. Hopefully he does not have...
Thoughts and prayers.
Yes, our thoughts and prayers are with both Matt Trammell and Brent Blinka that they do not have the COVID. So yeah, and then of course thoughts and prayers to all those who have COVID and may have been affected by COVID during this time. So also big thanks to James Bellini, our videographer, who is hanging out in Water Valley tonight. It's always good to see James and his wonderful video there. But yeah, so yeah, that is week 8. Can you believe it?
And our sponsors, I'd like to thank Deersky & Deersky for sponsoring our scores. We have Little Caesars Pizza for hour 1, and we had W&W AFCO Steel for hour 2, and Dr. Milton Leon at the Cardiovascular Center for Excellence for hour 3.
Did we fit in Eggemeyer's?
Eggemeyer's,
the best
yes.
darn general store in West Texas.
They sponsored all of our highlights.
Yeah, so thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of our viewers out there, whether it be on the Facebook or on the YouTube. All right.
Or the Snappy Chats.
On the Snappy Chats. All right. For Christian Gabaldon, I'm Manny Diaz. Until week 9. I cannot believe we are already talking week 9. Thank God we are getting to watch football, that's for sure. Until next week, good night. God bless. See you then.